I feel like you have to do drugs to want to light your farts on fire. So something's not adding up here.
No. Basically, it's like if you don't do drugs, you will resort to lighting your farts on fire.
Man, you church kids are real weird.
Dude, it was...
These are the chosen people of God, and they're lighting their farts on fire.
I feel the minutes count down on the clock again. Feel like I'm playing in a game that I can never win. Time is running out, I know I gotta make a choice. So many whispers in my ear that I can't hear my voice. Tell me, will it end the situation that I'm in? Or am I bound to sit alone, drowning in my sins? Get right or get left, what will it be? Time is running out, the blood is flowing down the streets. People need to know we're living.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loot Bros Podcast. I'm your host, Residentdarrell, and tonight the boys are back in town. That's right. We got Mr. TMNT84. What's up, Joe?
Yo, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing today?
Man, I'm good. I am good. I am glad to be here tonight. And we have the bearded nerd. It's Zach.
Heyo.
Hope that McDonald's is treating you right, brother, because I am seriously jealous. Not even playing.
It's been a day. I mowed the lawn and then we went out and I got something new that I want to talk about later on the show. And
surprises.
And I was like, man, I'm hungry. And it's like 7:30. So we pulled through the drive-thru. And of course they're like, please pull to spot 2. And then they forget a drink. And then I'm like, all right. And I sit there 5 minutes. I'm just like, how long does it take to make a large Powerade?
Infinity.
And then I went inside and I was like, hey. He's like, sorry, we only have 3 people. I was like, it's all right. I just want my drink. Thanks. Bye.
Dude, so I took me and Spider Packs were out riding around running errands the other day, and we stopped by Wendy's, which we never go to Wendy's, but we stopped by Wendy's, and I ordered a like a little 4-for-4 combo with a drink, and then I ordered like just a extra sandwich. And I pulled to the window and I get all my food, and the woman there, I kid you not, she was doing everything in the world not to make eye contact with me because I was still sitting there. My drink was on the windowsill, like right there by the sliding glass window. And She just would not look over. I waved her down. I literally waited 6 minutes before finally someone else walked by. And I was like, hey, excuse me. They're like, hey, what can I do for you? I'm like, yeah, my drink is right there. Could you just hand it to me? And then I was like, when she did, I was like, dude, what a freak, man. I've been sitting here for 6 minutes and that person right there wouldn't hand me the drink. Like, I waited till I got it before I got mad.
You didn't want no spit in your drink?
Yeah, I didn't want no. I didn't want no Amber Heard in my drink. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
So, and with us, rounding out the round table, we have our brother from down under. It is CJ. What's up, dude?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back again. I had so much fun last week. I thought it's only fair to come back and drop the other ball in. So I'm balls deep 2 weeks in a row.
All 3 of them.
2 weeks. That kind of makes you an official pass member again, because it's like more times than Kali's been here in like a month and a half.
That's right.
Yeah. We'll fuse into like one like random person, so we'll alternate or something. There like once a month, Kali will come on, then me.
There you go. That's actually,
she'll want to get her balls deep and sweaty in this show as well.
That's right. Ooh. It's an amalgamation of hosts between the two of you. So yes, definitely glad to have you back, CJ, Joe, Zach. Always glad to have you guys on here. I'm not kidding you. I'm so freaking stoked about doing the show tonight. Kali has been out she's at PAX East right now, and we got to give a special shout out to Kali when we toast tonight, because she has been doing the Lord's work. She's been out evangelizing about the Loot Bros podcast. She has met with so many developers and offered to have them on the show. Some of them have already entered in our Discord. Speaking of, if you are listening to the Loot Bros podcast and you're not a part of our Discord, inside the bio, the show notes, every single week, I put the link tree links. Depending on the platform you use, depending on which, sometimes the links work, sometimes they don't. I don't know the rhyme or reason, but I put on there the Loot Bros links, the Residentdarrell's links, and things like that. And in all of them are access to the Loot Bros stuff. So whatever platform you're listening to this on right now, go into the show notes, click on the Linktree links, and find yourself into our Discord. Our Discord, we've had some really good conversation there lately, and it's a really cool place that people let loose. I feel like not to take away from our Facebook group, but I feel like we get some really genuine hardcore gamer conversation in the Discord. Like, there's definitely some hungry hardcore gamers in that room, and I think it is a freaking dope place to be. So you guys come join the Discord, and give Kalai a special shout out because she's at PAX, and she's meeting with all kinds of devs, like I was saying earlier. But her doing this has gotten several email chains started. We're in contact with some other people to talk to them on the show. And what's been really cool, and I just want to give a shout out to Joe for this one, is Joe got us hooked up with Patrick Hickey Jr. He is the owner and founder of Legacy Comics. We had him on back in December, and he has been he started voice acting. He's done a few games, but he's actually been announced to be in the upcoming WrestleQuest, which has been super awesome. So he and the guys from Mad Cat Studios, they did a panel they're at PAX, and it seems like a lot of outlets have covered it. It seems like there's going to be some really cool stuff coming from WrestleQuest. But I'm sitting down with him. It looks like tentatively the first week of May to have a conversation with him about WrestleQuest and the voice acting he's doing in there, and we may have some of the other devs on for there too. So that is super, super exciting. Lots of cool stuff going on here in the Loot Bros podcast. Outside of your normal wiener and fart jokes, we have some game devs on. We talk business every now and again. What do you guys think? Did I lose you?
Poop
No,
sock,
I'm good.
Poop sock, give me the poop sock.
Jesus God,
I'm bored of the tears.
Everyone just stop for a second. They're like, "Oh, Jesus, it's got to be a bit classy now."
Yeah, I know.
Really lift your sense of humor.
I'm honestly super. You say, but that doesn't belong here. Classiness, please.
All right.
So
I tell you what, I want to give a shout out to the Discord because you sort of you put a pretty high level there or whatever the conversation. But if you're just like a bit of a gaming degenerate, it's okay as well. And I want to give a particular shout out to this morning. I saw the wonderful Gaz had posted, and like I take a lot of time. I look at what Gaz plays because the man, look. I'm not going to say Fisher's asshole, but look, he has a payment plan in place, 6 months before he buys a $2 game, checks it with everybody, possible. And, getting some money out of Gaz is not an easy feat for the PlayStation, I can tell you, even though he's a super fan. But whenever he buys a game, I'm like, this has to be quality because, the man knows, what he's doing with his dollars. And he dropped in the Werewolves game, which I know you played a bit of, Darrell. I'm not sure if anyone else has. And I was
I talked about it like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh, you did? You played it as well?
Yeah.
Great game, but not what I would have thought would have, classified as a top 1% for money purchases on the store.
No,
good to see he's having a bit of fun.
We got it for free on PlayStation Now.
Ah, there you go. I knew there was something going on.
He spent no money.
That's right.
I know. That's okay then.
That's right.
That's okay.
That's
That
right.
makes sense.
I honestly should have just let you keep going, and then he could have corrected you.
Well, no, I just thought like if he's bought it, it must be. I've only played the first half an hour. I thought maybe it really develops.
Oh no,
or something,
I'm about. I would say I'm 50% done with that game, and I'm enjoying my time with it because it's just like one of those games where like you play it and you're like, man, this is fun to play. I don't know how fun this was for them to make because it's janky as shit.
Dude, that game's awesome. I played the first 2 hours of it. The game is awesome.
I beat like 4 or 5 levels. That game it's good. It's a good game. I enjoy it. I wish I could play the PS5 version, but unfortunately I didn't get that one for free. So I know if Phil wants to give me the other game, Phil, hook a brother up.
You have to say
they put that on
the proper
PS
term
Plus,
first.
Yeah, they did. They put. I don't think it was on PS Plus first. CJ, I think that was strictly PS Now. But when that game hit the network, I was sitting in my desk in my office, and I was like, man, you know what? I got some money in my wallet, burning a hole in it. What am I going to spend it on? Boom! It just hit Werewolf of Pop. I was like, what? Boom! Bought it. I don't know anything about it, but this is great. I like it. So.
All I remember about that game is that it came up on the store or whatever on Xbox. I got it on, and you could buy the standard edition. It was like, I don't know, half price game or something. It's okay, but then you could buy the ultimate edition for like $25 more, and all it came with was a skin of the only difference was like some sort of special werewolf skin or something. That is fantastic. Shameless. It was wonderful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get our toast going. Let's go ahead and toast to Kalai. She's at PAX. Let's toast to the janky werewolf game that Gaz didn't buy. Speaking of shout out to Gaz, he is flying into the States in the end of next month, and we're going to meet him and his family down in Florida. We're going to, party hard, go hang out at Universal, get some food. It's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to hanging out with some of the Loot Bros and Loot Crew, all that good stuff. So excited about that. Give a shout out to our Patreon producers. You guys are straight up killing it, making our Patreon the dopest place on the internet. Definitely want to give a shout out to Redbeard Rick, MZ Nitro. I saw you peeking your head around that Discord today. I want to give a shout out to My Name is Effing Mayo and the Affectatious Donk. Those are our Patreon producers. Thank you guys. And yeah, let's rock and roll. Oh my gosh. Straight up butt water.
Oh, my water went up my nose, so
get it. So, I am drinking this new plant-based seltzer energy drink called True North. And it is the least bad of all the really terrible seltzer waters out there.
The least bad.
I can't have
didn't say it was good.
Yeah, I did not. I can't have actual good drinks right now because of this stupid diet my wife's got me on. But I tell you what, this is definitely the best, least bad one.
So, like, what system?
I tell you what, God forbid an American to drink normal water. I'm not drinking that normal water.
Not doing it.
We live in America. You can't drink water. Like, you just can't go to your faucet and pour water out. It doesn't work that way.
You definitely cannot in Flint, Michigan.
No, definitely not there. Definitely not in Michigan. So, all right, CJ, since you are back and you are hanging out with us, I know we didn't get to dive into your huge list of games that you have been playing. So why don't you start us off tonight and let us know what you've been playing?
I thought we covered a ton of games last week. So
we covered enough for 4 hours worth of content.
Yeah,
right.
We covered a ton, but I know my boy. He's playing more than that.
Well, I seem to be on a real RPG kick at the moment, which is it's fun. I don't know, because like I'm sure it's the same for you three as well. Like you go in waves, what sort of style of game you want to play, and like RPG, like because they're usually massive games, you usually only play like maybe one at a time or something, and then that's basically all you play because there's so many systems and stuff. So sort of drop in and out of them. But I went I know we talked about it last week, but went like way down the rabbit hole this week with like 4 other people around the world into Babylon's Fall, and like this game is fantastically fucked up. It's just wonderful.
I thought you were going to say it was a good game, and you took
it is. I love this game. It's so funny. I've had so many messages this week on PSN, like saying, "Oh, why are you playing that piece of shit? That's a dreadful game." And like, it's exactly what I said last week. These people, I'm sure they haven't even played it, but I put about about 15 hours it took to beat the story. Doing like maybe half of it by myself, half with another sort of a max level player I met in the game and a few others. So it's actually a bit longer, the story, than I thought. But I sort of thought like that was the end of the game. Like you maybe do some gear leveling and stuff like for as long as you want, but that's it. But that's definitely not the case. Like because you get to there, and I got to about I think like a power level 70-ish, and the max is 200, and so then there's all these things that open up, like this sort of like boss arenas, if you like, that sort of take you from like 70 through to maybe 130 with gear drops. So you run them, you get gear and stuff. And then they had the Nier story, which I did as well, which is more levels than story, but still pretty cool, particularly if you like the game. And then I didn't realize that when you hit 145, there's a whole another like story continuation that takes you all through to 200. And the game gets really hard, like, just because a level or mission is like 130, it doesn't play like 130. Like if you're by yourself, it plays like a 150 level. So there's way more in the game than I thought there was. Like graphically, it's whatever. But, I've been enjoying it so much that I decided to join their Discord because, there's only 4 people in the world playing it or something. And it's been really refreshing because I've drifted away from sort of trophy hunting and talking achievements and stuff for a while now. But these people clearly don't care about that. Most of them are on PC. And like I guess there's a lot more than 4. There's, it's quite a big Discord or whatever else. But these people are like, they're really, like there's a few people that are trolling for sure, but the majority of people there are really interested in seeing the game improve. So it's like, it's a dev run Discord by Square. So you can leave feedback on the game, and it's not like, oh, I want this. You like have to do it specifically. They've got a format, you leave it there. And then, they got talk about how, people have really gone into the maths of the game as well, the leveling, which is interesting if you like the game. And then the other night, like so deep down in the rabbit hole, they had a live Japanese cross with the developers, the Platinum there, and the panel, and it was in Japanese, but the woman there did some translation in the Discord, which was awesome in English. And it was amazing to see, like, they're taking a lot of the ideas from the Discord, like, tweaking the difficulty and stuff like this. So, like, I'm not necessarily saying that it's a game that you should maybe buy because it's going to be around in a year, because it may not be, but it's definitely a game that's going to be around for at least the next 6 months, because they've already made the content apparently for the next 2 seasons. But it was really encouraging to see, like, they're definitely not dumping this product at all. They're all trying to work together, and like my time with it might be coming to an end because almost got the plat now, but like I'll definitely drop in and out, and I think it's a game to watch. Like, I think I wouldn't go as far as saying they're going to save it like Final Fantasy 14 yet, but there's definitely, like, the wheels are in motion, and it's so nice to be around gamers that, they want to fix the product, they want to make it better rather than people just heaping shit on it, which, happens on a lot of games. So yeah, I've really been enjoying that. And then that's really all I've been playing, but I played a little bit of Hot Wheels Unleashed. New DLC came out. The first one was the Batman, which was fun.
Oh, yeah.
This one is the Monster Trucks, which is just Monster Trucks, is cool. Some of those tracks are really tough. Like, if you get the plat in that game, like, mad respect, because the time trials, I'm stuck on like 13 time trials. They're like gold time, and they're really tight. So anyone that can do that, hats off to you, because that's not an easy plat.
Man, I picked that one up specifically to play the Batman Hot Wheels stuff. So I am. Actually, it's funny because my boys, they're never really interested in playing racing games. The most I can get out of them is like Rocket League. But since this kind of looks like Rocket League, they were like, yeah, we'll play that. So we'll definitely do a little bit of split screen Hot Wheels tomorrow. That's happening.
It's a really fun game. And the cool thing is you can play all the content. It's those time trials, like there's a base time you need to beat to go to the next race, which is not bad. But if you really want to challenge yourself for that last one, it's like brutal. But it doesn't stop you from playing content, which I think is a really good way of doing it in games and stuff. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy that. And then only 2 others of note that I'll drop in quickly. I went back to Far Cry 6 because I sort of got 3 hours in and dumped it months ago, and really enjoying it. The game, I think the game is great, or whatever else. It's a massive open world, done in zones, but looser zones than Valhalla was done. So you can actually, does this really cool thing where all the fast travel points are unlocked from the start of the game. So you can travel to any area of the map you want, even if you've never been there before, which I think is awesome. So you can do that. And then the story is sort of broken up into sort of 5 sections or 5 different factions, if you like. You can start on any faction you like, except the final one. They all scale with you. So every time you move up 2 levels, every region moves up 2 levels with you. So there's no, you can't sort of like grind over here and then go over to that side of the map. It'll be easier. Everything sort of progressing, unlike Assassins, where it sort of just, it stays at its level and it's up to you to get to the level, like most RPGs. So I thought that's really cool and innovative, or whatever else. So I've been enjoying that, and I just started, and I don't think you've talked much about the Tiny Tina's game yet.
I haven't tried it yet, so I haven't had anything to say about it.
Yeah, so I started it last night, and I was like, why not? And actually, like, I'm interested in your opinion on this, right? Have any of you followed or any of you playing this game? By any chance?
I started the Assault on Dragon's Keep, the first one, last week. I haven't played Wonderlands yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've never finished a Borderlands game, so except for Tales from the Borderlands, a Telltale.
Well, guess what you're getting pledged to play?
No.
Got him.
I've played like a fair bit of 2. I dabbled in 3, not even halfway, and then this one I assumed would be exactly the same as the others, and so I picked it up and just put it on the shelf or whatever, and thought I'll get to it eventually or whatever. And then there's been this huge backlash against them on their season pass because they released, like the game only released a month ago or something. But anyway, they've released their first paid DLC part of the season pass. And what it is, I haven't played it, so I don't really know. But what it is apparently is like a dungeon or whatever else that you can run. And it takes about half an hour or something to run the dungeon, right? So it costs, if you buy this freestanding, it's like $10 US. I think if you buy it in the the season pass, $40 for so there's no real saving, I suppose, for the 4 of them. And they may not all be the same, but I think perhaps they're going to be of a similar style. So it's a dungeon that takes 30 minutes. You get new weapon drops, all this, some cosmetics or whatever else, but there's an end boss at the end of this dungeon, and he's a certain level. So you play him today, you run through it, you'll play him at this level. Now, next week, you come back on the day that it unlocks, and he'll be the next level higher. Then the week after that, come back and everything will be in the next level higher. So this goes over 4 weeks and it gets progressively harder, but ultimately it's the same dungeon or whatever else. And the backlash on this, like that I've been reading is like, it's garbage. It's just a money take. It's like, it's half an hour's worth of content, which sort of technically is, but really it's maybe more like 2 hours if you play it week to week. But the biggest hatred has been like the fact that you have to wait each week for it to, go to the next level or whatever. You can't just manually make it. And apparently there are workarounds now where people play it offline, they figured it out. But what I wanted to ask you is, do you guys like these sort of games where you have a daily requirement, or you only play a little bit and then come back next week and say you can go to the next level? Do you like that a mechanic, or does that really irritate?
I would like it if I played regular, Like, I'm playing a game right now that has daily objectives and weekly objectives. And if you do the dailies, then you get like a weekly bonus kind of thing. Okay. I would love to actually be able to make use of that stuff. But for me personally, like, I don't get to really enjoy that stuff based on the way I play. Now, if I was locked out of it, like, let's say I did do all of my things, and that's the game I wanted to play, and I was like, well, I can't really do anything right now until it resets. I could see that being a problem. But also, guys like us, we play so many games, like that kind of doesn't even matter, So it doesn't really apply to me.
See, that's something I would like. Because I play games like Apex, and I play the bro games where you actually go back each week and there's different stuff for you to like get or do, or different challenges and stuff for the week. So yeah, I mean it's already in kind of my normal realm of play. So
what about you, Joe?
And Joe?
It's I don't know. I feel like I do that with WWE 2K22. Like, I play daily and weekly challenges through like the My Faction modes. So like I have experience playing stuff like that. Plus, it reminds me of like playing stuff on like Fortnite, where you have things that you do daily or you do weekly, or Rocket League, where you have like a battle pass. It's more like that battle pass mentality of playing, which I think works out for certain genres of games. And if more games did it, everything would become like games of service. And I'm not a person who really likes games of service games. I kind of want sequels to things, and I want things to progress and not get stuck like Grand Theft Auto did for like 7 years or 15 years. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic, though. I think it's something that we could definitely spend hours talking about. It's kind of like the state and the flux of the industry right now, pushing towards more of a games of service model than having things be a one and done experience, because they want to milk as much as they can because of the cost of development for the games.
Yeah. See, I've always found that Borderlands series, like, it's not a game of service. It's a single player game. You can play multiplayer or whatever else, but it's not like a live service game by any stretch. And this is only the DLC. Like, there's still a 40 to 80 hour game there that is not changing week to week. This is like, if you want more content or whatever else. So like this is perfect for me. Like, I loved in that GT7, you had your daily miles, like you can do more if you want, but you get rewarded for doing 25 or whatever it was. Which, you can do in like half an hour or something, and the MMOs, they have a similar thing, Apex, as you said. So for me, this is like a perfect thing, but I was really, I suppose, I don't know, maybe because I'm like, I don't know, I'm getting more and more tired of just whinges, I think, but I just couldn't believe the outroar of, and again, most of these people, I suppose, are trophy or achievement things. They're just like miserable bastards. They're like, I paid this money and now I have to wait, and I was like, well, surely you've got other games you can play. And like, not every, and I know this is like, again, it's coming down that line of thing, but like, it's like you get a new Assassin's Creed game, you're not supposed to beat the fucking thing in a week, and
right.
You're not supposed to go around and do all the collectibles and fuck off the story and then come and do the story when you've done everything, all the boring stuff. Like, you're supposed to do it in bits and mix it up and have fun, and maybe because I'm playing more RPGs at the moment, I keep running into these things where people do these insane things like, I'm just going to go around the map and get every shoe for the next 40 hours or something, and then probably ruin like all the landscapes because I'll see everything but I have no idea what's going on. Then I'll come back and do the story and I'm like, this is insane. Like, this game was made, there won't be another game for 2 years, so you just take your time and enjoy it. And I understand, like, if maybe that's the only game you have, so therefore you're putting in serious time into it, but like, I also don't understand that because I don't believe anyone at this point with all the free games and services only has one game they can possibly play. And I think it's just this mindset. And I don't know, it really turned me off. These sort of people, like, just, people, having a go at the content is one thing, but having a go at this idea of like, well, it evolves over a week or two. Like, I think that's just ridiculous. But anyway,
I believe that's how Yield plays his games. Like, he does every single thing on one side of the map, and then he goes and, like, that's how he's playing Horizon, I believe. Like, he's clearing out like each quadrant of the map, like one section at a time, and beating everything. Like, I don't got time. I don't got time for that shit anymore. I gotta just beat the story and move on. If you're ever gonna beat your backlog, you can't play everything. You can't do everything in a game anymore. I just come to that realization, and I don't know how people like JT and everybody platinum so many games so fast. And I'm like, are you skipping cutscenes? What are you doing? What's your secret? Because it's crazy how fast him and like Gaz or like anyone, they like take these games, these crazy long games, and they beat them so quick. And I'm like,
Rick's pretty efficient.
I don't mean it so much as like doing everything in the area. Like, I did that. The way Horizon plays, it does encourage you to do that. And that's sort of what I did as well. I mean more so like, okay, like, I won't touch the story in these games. I'll just do like all the collectibles. I'll bring up my guide and I'll spend the next 20 hours going all the way around the map, doing all that. Then I'll come back and play the story. Like, they're not doing, everything in one zone. They're just doing like one thing, and then around the map. So you're sort of ruining the whole game, I would have thought, because you're sort of seeing everything without context. And like, people can play however they want or whatever else, but they're the people that have problems with this idea that this content is coming out, week over week and week or something. And I was like, well, like, you're supposed to enjoy it. Like, you take your time. It's not a race.
I have a lot of friends and they don't enjoy content. They just beat it in a week and then they move on to the next game. Like, they don't have time. Like, they watch me like flounder through games. They're like, oh, you never beat anything. And you have so many games, but we're efficient. We beat our games. And I'm like, yeah, but you play a game for like 60 hours for 2 weeks and then you never touch it again. I enjoy my games because I spend a lot of money on them.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Well, it's CJ, if you think about it, it's also a good way to kind of pace yourself too. It's like, all right, I got this objective. I can do X, Y, and Z. This content, let's say, takes a couple hours. Okay, that's all done. I can move on to the next game, chip away at it, and then I can come back at a later date, and then like tomorrow or next week, and be like, oh, okay, I can knock out my weekly objectives. I feel like that's a lot of the way the Destiny crew does it. Same thing with like your Division guys, like you knock out your dailies.
But then they bitch and complain when they come back because then they got a power level and then, oh shit, all this work I did, everybody gets it for free now. And like, I don't need to hear their mouths anymore because they're the most annoying fan base, I swear to God.
maybe
I just spent all this time power leveling and now this guy gets all this armor for free and all the trophies just unlocked for him for nothing. Why am I playing this?
What game is that? I need to download that game.
Destiny. If you had any of this stuff done in Destiny, it just like auto pops when like you get one level in the new game because the way the new version of the game is put together, it like took away all the story and you just go straight to end game now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, it kind of ruins the experience, though, because if you actually wanted to play Destiny 2 for the story, like, God forbid you want to be that person like I am, it's like they make it like you have to jump through fucking hoops to do it. You have to figure out who to talk to. There's like this convoluted fucking base you walk around that doesn't give you any directions on where to go, and the map is like Xenoblade fucking Chronicles 2 terrible, or like Jedi A Fallen Order terrible, where like it tells you where you are, but it's like 3 levels deep, and it doesn't tell you what level you're technically standing on, so you don't know if you're supposed to go up, down, left. It's like so fucking annoying, Darrell. Like, I kid you not, it took me hours to figure out where to go in Destiny 2. That was a year ago when I did it. They changed it again, though. I think they streamlined it again. They made it like super easy to run through the story again, because now you can just click on menus now to do it.
You just go through your story quest line, yeah.
Yeah, you can actually just click story quest line. Before, you had to like find the people in the fucking base to activate them, and I was like, this is fucking dumb. Who thought this was a fun idea? Oh wait, they don't want me to play the story. They just want me to fucking buy shaders and fucking shit crystals and all this forsaken nonsense that I don't need.
Oh wow. So
it's so funny you bring up Destiny 2, because it's sort of on the back end of having 3 weeks off, which is part of the reason why I'm playing so many RPGs. And like 2 weeks ago, I was like, just threw everything against the wall basically and see what shit sort of stuck, and then decided that's what I would play, I think, for these last 3 weeks. But Destiny 2 was one of them, because I played it like a little bit back a few years ago, and I must have played the base story because I got those trophies like you mentioned. But I was like, maybe, I've never put proper time into this. Maybe this break I will. And so the most confusing thing is to know which version to fucking buy when you don't own any of them. Because if you buy the Witch Queen, that's where you're going to start. And I'm like, I don't want to start there. I want to start with the story. But as you say, Joe, they vault content, which is, I don't know, that is what it is. I don't really understand that in MMO, but I don't know the game well enough to comment on that. But anyway, so they had some really good sales on the PlayStation at the moment, I think, or to next week, and that Destiny was in there, and you could buy one that had, I want to say the Beyond Light, but I don't know if that's something like this, the Moon one, and then the next 2 or something. And I'm not sure. They don't seem to be vaulted, the ones I'm playing anyway. So I bought it. It was like $30 or something, which is nothing for a game you could spend, thousands of hours in. And I've been like, I'm playing by myself, although there's other people doing shit in the missions too, so they can do whatever they want. I'm going to. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. And like, I don't play a lot of shooters. And that was my concern, is like, I don't know where to start. And admittedly, it was really confusing. I didn't know which planet I was supposed to go to. And I did find a bit of a text thing that said, okay, you can start here. And once I got started, it was okay, or whatever else. But that is the hardest thing about that game, is knowing which one to purchase, because you can lock yourself out of stuff, or you can miss stuff. So, and there's like 1,000 different copies on the store.
I know, it's so convoluted. I just feel like at this point, trophy, let's go. I just feel like at this point, like, Destiny's like, it's like Game Pass for me. I'm like, I'll just wait till it all comes out for free, and then I'll just buy it, because it'll all be free to play eventually, because that's what they want to push you towards anyway. So then they can just get you to buy all the shaders and the guns and the extra shit that they're going to give you for free. Like, they're just going to keep that game going forever.
Yeah. Well, it was on Game Pass, but I think it's come off. That's why I ended up.
It came off of Game Pass because it's actually just completely free on all platforms now.
Yeah, it's just completely free.
Yes.
But like, I took the
base game itself is not the DLC.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I took the Game Pass approach, though. I'll just keep waiting until they make all the other expansions free, because they're eventually going to do that.
Yeah, I would imagine whenever the PlayStation Plus Game Pass, yeah, the Plus, it's got all their live service stuff they're gearing towards. It's got to be stuff that they're going to put on there to keep people on the service.
Imagine, Darrell, if Plus gets all the Destiny content for free, and then everybody else has to pay for it.
So they probably won't do that, because it does support cross progression.
Yeah.
So if they did make it free, they'd make it free to everyone.
Well, yeah. I'm sure they've got big plans for that particular game. There's the reason why they bought them. But I guess we need to kind of move on to who Zach. What have you been playing?
So I beat one of my pledge games this week. I beat the Outer Worlds finally.
Nice.
Kalai and I are gonna record a deep dive on that one. She wanted to jump in on that. Nice. And then I started playing Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. Nice. It's really fun. I'm already on the 4th chapter, so I beat the prologue in the first 3 chapters. It's a different style. Like, it's made by the same people that made Ultimate Ninja Storm. or Naruto.
Those games are amazing.
It's a different style of game though, because it's similar to that, but it's not. So like it plays very much like a novel, but then you do have fights where you have to parry moves and stuff like that. So it does play a little bit different, but it plays unique enough to be a different game. And then
just before you move on, have you watched the anime?
Yes, I'm completely caught up on the anime. I'm watching Black Clover right now, actually.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. There's actually, well, it's not that good a game, but there is a game.
Is there?
Clover game. Yeah, It's not great.
Don't tell me that. I'll still buy it.
I enjoyed it, but it's not as good as the one. I can't say it. The Inuyasha Chronicles.
Inokami, yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful game though. I think we're in the same spot, roughly, maybe 5 chapters in or so, and yeah.
So, and that's about all I've been playing. I played a little bit of Zombies with the wife earlier this week. But I'm super excited because I just picked up this dope, really nice controller. So my right bumper and part of my left bumper started going out on my Elite 2 controller, and I was like, do I spend the $140 to get another brand new one? Well, I was exploring around on Marketplace, and I was like, I want to get a controller that's going to last for a while, and I found a guy selling one of the Scuff Instinct Pros for he only wanted 140 for it, and I offered him 100, and he took it. But it's got
awesome.
it's got mouse click triggers and stuff like that.
Nice.
And, it's so comfortable.
So wait, for $140, do they get your soul along with that controller too? Do they own you?
They might as well.
Fuck, I pay $80 for fucking Joy-Cons, but $140 for a controller, it's a fucking mortgage my house.
The sad part is it's the only Xbox controller that is rechargeable. But it also
that's how they see. Do you see that? That's a fucking problem. Do you see
How do you mean rechargeable though? Rechargeable batteries?
Yeah, it's just like a PlayStation controller. The battery pack's built.
Well, so is the Elite too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's it. Okay, I've got a question here because we finally got someone that plays Xbox on this show. So I just used the Elite 1 for ages, and everyone's like, oh, the Elite 2 is great, it's great. So I got one, and it's smaller. It's a smaller controller than the Elite 1, and it's okay. But I've actually, because it's hard to get the Elite 1s here now, so you got to get them secondhand. So I bought a few of them because the grips are a bit dodgy. I know they come off and whatever else.
Yeah,
but
they came off.
I know you got to put. Yeah, I know you got to put the batteries in it, but I love the one. I've got the 2 sitting there, but I just keep using the one. And do you prefer, because it is a smaller controller. That's the thing, was my problem with it, I think.
I didn't mind the Elite 2. I like the Elite 2 a lot because I feel I play a lot of FPSs, and I play a lot of Apex and stuff, and I try to play a little bit more competitively, and I like that it had 3 separate trigger stop areas. I felt like the ones were a little bit too short, and that was my only gripe with it. And then the back grips coming off is really annoying because mine just completely came off.
Elites are off,
and that was my only gripe about the first one. Honestly, was I felt like I needed more adjustability in my triggers.
There's not a lifetime warranty with those. I feel like you should get one. You're spending that much on a controller; it should have a lifetime warranty.
You can replace them.
Oh yeah, you can. I could replace the bumpers and stuff if I really, really wanted to. But I mean, I can just keep the controller around. It still works for a majority. It just uses a backup. But
yeah,
don't you have nice controllers though?
Yeah. I still have my Elite 1 without the grips on the back, and I have my Elite 2 controller, and now I have a Scuff controller. So now I went from slightly expensive to really expensive to really, really expensive.
You really are a pro gamer.
Oh, dude, these mouse click triggers are nuts. I'm telling you that right now. They make shooting so much better.
But just to pick up on the point Joe said as well, you pay I don't know what it is in America, but so those controllers about the Elite 2 is about $240 in Australia. Right. You pay $110 for a PlayStation controller. So it's almost half. For what you get for double the money, you get a lot. I think that controller, admittedly it doesn't have this DualSense bullshit in it, but it's so much, you get it in that thing, you get all the triggers as you're saying, the adaptability. And it's a real shame that PlayStation haven't, I know they didn't do it with the PS4 either, they haven't made an Elite version of their controller. I know third parties have, but they haven't done something like that because for what it is, it's worth the money. There's no question.
Oh, 100%.
I think So
not only that, but like you spend all of your time using the controller. So like, that is arguably the most important part of the experience. Like, and that's one of the things I always tell people, like whenever they're trying to decide which console they want to go with, like all fanboyism aside, you got to pick the controller you like the most, because you can love the offerings of the company, but if you don't like the controller, that is where you spend all your time anyways. You have to use the controller for every game. So like, I always tell everybody, what do you like more? Like which kind of controller? Those 110% controllers are nice. They really are. And I bought the off-brand Elite controllers for PS4, and they were a disaster. They were like, I bought one and it didn't work. The firmware, that you couldn't update to a high enough firmware to use it on the PS4. Like it only worked on the launch PS4 firmware. Like it was not good.
Yeah. So from the experience that I've already had with the Scuff controller, it's a little bit smaller, kind of like the Elite 2. It doesn't have the paddles on the back. It's got mouse click buttons on the back as well, which are really neat. And they're kind of like they're a little bit more in a better spot than the paddles for the Elite controller are, because those paddles are just super annoying, because I feel like you have to reach with your fingers, like almost lift your hand off to reach them. These ones, they sit right about your ring finger, and your fingers sit on them, so you can click them in. And then the second set, you just push your push your finger out. It still has interchangeable thumbsticks on it. You can change the faceplate out on it, the D-pad on it. It has a really, like, my hands have stayed pretty dry, and I've been playing with it since we started. And it has cooling grips on the back too. Ooh.
So wait, leaving that one alone. Never mind.
Hey, don't let me. Hey, we're in here right now. This is a big old sausage fest.
Listen, if your hands are dry after that long of playing, there's a problem.
Just give it up, man. Just let it go.
He loves to play the shooters.
I do. I'm playing Cold War. I'm playing Cold War right now. So,
what is that? When you turn the AC down like to really, really low, and
and then I sit. And then I put my hand on the vent, and I sit on my hands.
Oh, it's like a Cold War stranger.
Yeah, exactly. knock, it's the KGB.
Anything else you've been playing, Zach?
Have I played anything else? No, that's it.
All right.
I know you want to move on,
no,
so,
ahead,
so you don't have to elaborate. But I know you played Outer Worlds. We just talked about it a second ago, and so I started that. I was the one that pledged you that game because I wanted you to play it so that it would make me play it as well. That's how it works. And Darrell sent me a message like 2 weeks ago or something, and it implied maybe you weren't enjoying it, or maybe you said something on the podcast.
He said on the show.
I did. I've said it on the show a couple of times.
Yeah. And so I said to Darrell, you can let him off it or whatever, but then you went and finished it. And so I wonder, can you talk to, like, did the game change in your mind, or what did you not like about it?
So the middle of the storyline felt very dull. I felt like I hit like a point in the story where it just was like not really. I wasn't having fun with the story anymore. Because that game is, and I don't know if you've noticed it or not yet, but that game is very, your choices matter and how the story progresses. Because there's like 3 or 4 different ways you can actually finish the story. And you lose reputation with different like factions and stuff, based on the decisions you make, who you choose to ally yourself with. And I guess the direction I took, because I decided I was going to be like true to life an asshole in the game, and I just killed everyone that I didn't agree with. And that made the game a lot harder for me to get through too. But when I finally got through it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be nice. I'm going to try to save Phineas instead. And since he's like the first guy you meet, that scientist, I don't know if you met him yet, the weirdo on the screen. Yeah. So he's a little something. That's that. And I was like, you know, I'm going to try to be the good guy now. And I don't know, the middle was just kind of dry for me. I enjoyed the beginning a lot. The beginning kept me in. And then once I went back and I was like, I'm going to finish this game. I'm already 7.5 hours into it. There's no reason for me not to finish this game. I got to the end, and the end picked back up, and it got me back into the story again. That's why I kind of gave you the tips. I felt like I didn't level my stuff right. I kind of tried evenly leveling all of my skills and stuff like that. and it didn't really do me any good. I figured out really quickly that if you want like decent loot and stuff like that, that you need to level your hacking skills definitely, and level your shooting. I didn't really use a whole lot of melee weapons. If you choose to use melee weapons, that's your prerogative. I'd level melee, but my gun skills, I use my guns a lot more than anything else. And it's really neat how you can have four separate weapon slots too. So
interesting.
I'm going to try to keep my questions to a minimum because I know you're going to do the deep dive on it. But what was the writing like? Was it good and clever and cheeky, or was it just kind of straightforward and like as what you would expect?
It was good. There's a lot of clever talk between a couple of the characters and stuff like that. And the cool thing is, depending on the conversation you're having and who you're having it with, your companions will even chime in on the conversation too. So the different conversations could have like 4 or 5 different outcomes, which is really neat. They did a really good job with like, it feels almost like a story, like one of those old Goosebump books where you get to choose the story.
Okay.
So it was a very good game. Like I said, the middle was kind of droll and dry for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, but after you make it through that, and the rest of the game is great. So for about the 13 hours that I put into it, only about 2 hours of it really, really bored me and made me not want to do anything with it.
Gotcha. All right, Joe, what have you been playing?
Well, I mean, to piggyback off him real quick and just, comment off that, I mean, I have the game, I have Outer Worlds, and it's just like sitting in a pile of games from Christmas.
Same.
Like, I got it. It's just sitting there. I'm like, oh, I'll get to this, it'll be a light year, there won't be too many things coming out that I want to play, and
yeah, right.
yeah, fuck my life. It's every year. So currently, like right now, as we're speaking, I am finishing up Lego Hobbit.
Okay.
So it's a cute little game, cute little Lego game. I actually like this one for all like the cool little mechanics it tries to do, and it actually makes you like want to play as all the characters because of how they, how they do different things with them, and the power of the ring, and all the other characters have different like kind of like powers they can use, which I think is pretty cool. I'm liking it. It's cool. I don't know if I'm gonna play it past story completion. I'm probably just gonna move on. So I played that. I played a lot of Ys 8 on the Switch. I actually pre-ordered it for PS5 because pre-orders went live for the PS5 version, for the physical version. So I ordered that. I don't know, CJ, I don't know if you saw that they went live.
No.
On NIS America. You can pre-order the PS5 copy, which is really cool. I'm excited to replay it on PS5. I missed out on a physical PS4 copy, and they're like $90 to buy a PS4 version of that game. So, yeah, not doing that.
Dang.
It's also on the Switch, I think, that game too, isn't it?
I own it on the Switch. That's what I'm playing it on.
Oh, sorry, not the Switch, the Vita. Sorry, I was thinking of the...
It is on the Vita. It is on the Vita.
Ugly Switch.
What? It's on the Vita, Darrell. Yeah, it's one of the last RPGs that came out on the Vita. Yeah.
The only reason I remember that, not to detract, is I played it for some bizarre reason. I had it on both physical, and I lent the Vita to someone in Melbourne, and I lent the other one to somebody else in Brisbane, and they've never returned either of those copies. So I should chase those back up. And if you say they're worth something, I didn't realize.
They are worth a pretty penny now. Yeah,
unless they got sold.
Yeah, they used to be worth something.
It's probably good on the Switch. It wasn't good on the Vita. Graphically, it was very poor.
It does some like
PS4 was good.
It does some stuttering and some like twitching, but other than that, it plays. And I mean, if you're a Switch user, I mean, you get used to jank real quick. You just understand that it's not the greatest console in the world, but it lets you play everything portably. So it makes up for it in shortcomings, honestly, with the fact that I can play it on my couch. So I've been playing that. I'm really liking it. I don't know if any of you have tried. It's more of an action RPG than a turn-based RPG, but I like the progression system. I like when you unlock like a jewel or a fragment, you go to your shopkeeper, and then now you can upgrade all your weapons. So like you feel like you're underpowered for a while, and then you feel like you're overpowered for a little bit, and then it kind of has like this ebb and flow to it. So the game never lets you get like too overpowered. in the beginning sections. I mean, I'm only in like the second chapter of the game, and I put 15 hours into the game. But I'm doing all the side quests and everything, and I'm trying to like find every single little thing on the island as I go through. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Speaking back to what you were saying earlier, I do that in a lot of my games, especially RPGs. RPGs is, I feel like, where I do it the most. Like, I just fall into this trap of like, oh, I got to find everything or do every single little thing in this game.
Nice.
So I've been playing that on PS5 and PS4. Let's check the trophy list because it's been a week.
Yeah.
It's been a week. I got Lego Star Wars because my birthday is coming up this week.
Oh, happy early birthday, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, I got Lego Star Wars, Skywalker Saga. My wife is like, "Oh yeah, you can buy one game. What do you want to buy?" And I'm like, "Lego Star Wars." I'm like, "Lego Star Wars."
One game that you know of.
She knows because all the credit card statements go directly to her phone.
Seriously, I think I bought 10 games this week, maybe 12.
I've done that. I used to do that in the past. Like I used to just like go crazy, but Collide made me kind of like Collide's my Gamers
Voice
Anonymous.
reason?
She's my Gamers Anonymous person that I call whenever I struggle with a purchase. Like straight up, we actually do this with each other. We're like, "Hey, should I buy this?" And then we're like, "Well, how many games are you playing right now?" And then she'll just be like, "Well, did you beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Well, then you can't buy any more games." So I've been playing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, and it plays very differently from any other Star Wars game they put out, or any other Lego game they put out. They did a lot of work on this game, and I understand why it got delayed so many times, because it's just such a expansive game compared to most. But I feel like the levels are really short, like shorter than regular Lego levels. Like, you know how they would be like, 10, 20, 30 minutes long per like level, like to do everything and figure out the puzzles in the level and like get it done. I feel like these are like more bite-sized, but there's more objectives in them, if that makes any sense. And there's like, you can like level up your character with Kaiba bricks. There's like this whole like underlying system. I've only played like a good like hour of it, and I'm excited to play it, but I'm also like weary because it's just all new. It's like when you take the training wheels off a bike, it's like taking the training wheels off a Lego game. It's like, oh, this is what a real game plays? All right. I don't know if I like this, but I mean, we're in it. They definitely put a lot of work and hard work and love into this game, and it's a shame that like there was a lot of crunch and like all that stuff surrounding this game and people, but they did a great job. So hats off to the team over at Traveler's Tale, because they did a really fucking awesome job on this game. Like, I can't say enough good things about it so far. It's beautiful. I'm playing it on PS5. I did get the PS5 PS4 combo, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna play it again on PS4 though, because I don't know how good it's gonna play. There's just so many things going on. I'm like, how can this play on a PS4? So, I played one of my pledge games this week. I played Tales of Arise. I actually started it, CJ, so you'll be proud of me.
Oh, nice.
It is one of the best RPGs I've ever played.
Because of all the trash I talked last week.
This guy. This fucking guy. So I played I was saying to play about 5 hours of it so far.
Can I pause you just for a second and say, I appreciate both of you guys. Both of you guys, not only will you talk trash, but you also take trash talk very well. And that is much appreciated because, we haven't always had that here. I'm not knocking anybody. I just think that that's a cool thing.
Frosty.
I'm not saying a word.
He knows I love him. He and I share TikToks and talk at least like 2 or 3 times a week.
That was me mimicking his fight controls.
So anyways, continue. 5 hours of Tales.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool action RPG. If you've ever played a Tales game, it plays pretty similar to most of them. I would say it's super linear. For anybody who's played a Tales game, you'll be well at home with the linearity of this game. CJ, does it ever really open up, or is it pretty much linear the whole way through like this?
No, I'm not much further than you through it at this point, so I'm not sure either. One thing they did do, though, when it first came out, I think the lowest difficulty you could play on was normal, and once you got to about the 4-hour mark, if you weren't grinding as you went, it got really difficult. And they have I think they put an easy mode in.
There's a story mode in it, yeah.
Yeah, and they've also rebalanced it. so that even the normal is not as bad. So it just, because the problem, like a lot of these games are, it encourage you to grind a lot early on, and then you'd be okay for like most of the story, but it would really hard if you didn't. But I think they've flattened it now a little bit, so it makes it a better progression across the whole game.
Yeah, I haven't had. I normally don't grind in Tales games because they're very linear, and it's point A to point B, point A to point B, point A to point B. You can do side quests, you can do objectives. I really like the eye guy in the Iron Mask so far. He's pretty cool. It's a cool protagonist, and the chick is super hot and anime. So I'm down that path too. It's a cool game. I definitely want to talk more about it, but I haven't gotten far enough into it to really give my like honest opinion of it yet. But I definitely think like mechanics wise, it's one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Like, mechanics wise, it's very solid. Like I feel like the combat works very well. I like the mapping all the attacks to each button combined with the R1. It works out and it's seamless. Just using R1 to like attack was very different because you play Kingdom Hearts, you're used to using like square to attack and then like holding like L1 in to do your magic. It took a little adjusting, but it felt like again like it was like WWE 2K22. Once you adjust to the learning curve of the controls, like the game takes over, and I just want to go back and keep playing it. It's really cool.
What I like about it too, that's the first one that's come out on Xbox, I think, since maybe Vesperia, at least for a while.
Yeah, it's the first one since Vesperia.
Yeah, and it's like, a lot of games are becoming like this now, Japanese RPGs, that they're JRPGs, but they're like more leaning on the Western side of RPG. And that one, in previous iterations has really relied on skits. And I know it still has it in there in the fireplaces, but there's a lot more cutscenes in that one.
It's cutscene heavy. It's cutscene heavy. Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
like, you take 4 steps, Darrell, cutscene. Take 5 steps, cutscene. And I'm like, can I play the fucking game? That's the only... Okay, that's my one gripe so far. I mean, I think that's a positive, though, for a lot of Western gamers, especially on the Xbox, because you're sort of getting your story, and I think you can skip it if you really don't want it, but you're getting your story as opposed to having to read your story, which a lot of it, it's been like that. But with a lot of JRPGs, you have to read usually. They're not voiced or whatever, or not in English anyway. So I think that was a good move on their part, doing that for the more Western-based audience, particularly on the Xbox, where they're not used to playing games like that. I mean, rumor has it they're hard at work on porting their 2 most popular games to every console. So
yeah,
they're supposed to be porting Symphonia to modern consoles. We'll see, though. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants those games remastered and redone. I don't know if they can stand up to the newer Tales games. They're pretty well put together. And I played. Did you play Vesperia?
Yeah, I played it. I didn't like that one.
Did you play the definitive edition, or did you play the original version of it?
No, definitive edition.
Yeah, I played the definitive version on the Switch, and it ran really well on the Switch, and it was kind of optimized over there. And I was like, it kind of did the same thing like Dragon Quest S did, where like Dragon Quest 11S was made for the Switch, so it played the best on the Switch. And when they ported it over to everything else, it ran okay, but it didn't run as well as it did on the Switch because it wasn't designed for there. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm definitely going to keep playing this, and thanks for pledging it because I'm enjoying it.
Okay. I want to ask you one thing about the Lego Star Wars because you didn't mention it. So
sure.
At the start, obviously you can play any movie, but and I preface this by saying I've actually only ever watched one Star Wars movie, so I don't really understand why this is.
You can't pick any movie. You can pick.
No, that's right.
You can start from the beginning of any trilogy.
So where did you start?
The first one, because I'm an idiot. Because I'm a glutton for punishment and shitty Star Wars, so I start with episode 1.
Would you like the option for it to all be unlocked from the start, or do you think that's fine? Where they only unlock those 2.
I think when they unlock 3 different stories, you can start from any trilogy. So you can start from episode 1, episode 4, or episode 7. And I think that's fine because they're all like linear progression stories, and to start in the middle would be kind of weird. In a way, but I guess honestly, like if you're playing this game, you're already fucking a Star Wars fan. No one's picking this up going, oh man, what's Star Wars?
Yeah,
like I really don't think there's a lot of Lego fans out there picking this up that aren't Star Wars fans. Like, to be honest, and this is their like magnum opus of Lego games. Like it really is that good of a Lego game, and it's interesting because now I want to see what they can do going forward with different licenses that aren't stuff that they've had in the past. Like, I want them to branch out a little bit more like they did with Harry Potter. I thought, up until this point, Harry Potter was the best, like, Lego product they put together. It was just flawless. Like, it was a really good adaptation and the Jurassic Park one are probably my two favorite ones that they've made so far. This is up there, and I think by the time I complete this, it'll probably be my favorite Lego game of all time. It's insane though. It's 45 levels long. It's a huge game.
Yeah.
Other than that, I played Oni Shambara Origins. I did buy it, guys. I bought it.
Oh snap!
I bought it.
Is it?
It is everything that you want it to be if you're an Oni Shambara fan. Like, it's anime titties, it's killing people with swords, it's getting blood all over your face, and then turning into a super mega super hot chick that wields a sword. Yeah, it's got all your tropes. For those who aren't familiar with the series, its origins were Bikini Samurai Slayer was the first game on, I believe, it was on like PS2, Xbox 360, and the Wii. So yeah, those games are absolutely phenomenal. They play like Musou games, so it's like you're one character against a whole whole army of zombies, and you kill them. But the really cool thing about the Oni Chambara series is there's an underlying mechanic system that makes it very skill based compared to any other game in the genre. So, for instance, there's these things called cool hits where you time your hits exactly right, and like you rack up bonuses. And then there's you use your triangle move to stagger enemies, and then you can do a cool combo by pressing X and square together, and it kills everything in like one hit. And then you get Bloodlust. Bloodlust is when you kill enemies with cool. They drop all these blood orbs, and then once you collect them, your character is just like filled, like drenched in blood, or you get blood just from like killing enemies too. It'll like splatter on you, and then you can go like into ecstasy mode is what they call it, and then you just like destroy everything on screen. And the game is phenomenal. The boss fights are just as good as any of the games in the series. And actually, this Origins game takes the first two games in the series and remasters them from the ground up completely. And it's very, very stylish and very cool. I'm about 7 levels in, which is like, I think I'm like a third or the fourth of the way through it already. Or I'm sorry, a third or a half of the way through it. But I'm loving it so far. I've gone back, I've replayed levels and try to get higher scores on the levels I've played so far. Try to unlock rings so I can have different abilities and powers be like permanent so far. Or just grinding out levels, like just beating level over and over again to get more experience, to make my my Aya like super powerful and like unstoppable. So when I play later levels, it's just like a cakewalk. I get really obsessed with like Musou games to the point where like I'll just replay a level like 17 times in a row and just like max out all my stats.
That's awesome, dude.
Trophy list is not so bad, honestly. It's pretty cool. There's DLC for this game where you unlock characters, but you can unlock them like playing through the game. And I kind of want to go for the platinum on this one because I actually like this game a lot. It's going to be a grind, but I think I'm going to do it. I played one of the
Oni Chambara games on 360, and then I played the one that launched on the PS4. And they're overall they're cool games. They're very hack and slash with zombies, and that's what always attracts me.
Okay, you play Chaos Z2?
Yes.
Yeah, Chaos Z1 is really good too, but it only came out in Japan, didn't come out here. Which sucks. I own it though, because I imported it. Yeah, I spent that $57 to import that thing. I have all of them. I have every single game in the series. They were expensive. A lot more expensive because they didn't come here. And then did you play the other one that they made? It's called like God, the fuck is it called? It's like, oh man, it has a crazy name, but it's like a bunch of girls and like a SWAT girl. It's like a girl like Aya from like one Oni Chambara and like another one with a gun, and they're like zombie. It's like Zombie Hunter Squad or something like that.
No, but I know what you're talking about because it was on PSN.
It's always like $5 on PSN.
Yeah,
like, always.
I never played it.
So I picked it up one time and I was like, oh my god, the people who made Oni Chambara made this game. Like, oh my god, it's just the same game with different characters. All right, I want to play this. It's got the jank of the older games and not the style of Oni Chambara. So for those who like Oni Chambara, I would stick with this game. Origins came out last year around the fall, so it's relatively new. But I was like, oh, I don't own it, and I kind of wanted it. It was on sale for like $23 this sale, and I had like $11 left over from a gift card my friend bought me to buy Elden Ring. So I used it. I used the rest of the money to knock down the price on that, and then I picked it up.
Sweet.
I played a game called Elden Ring.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I know. It's not like this is popular or anything, right? No one's playing this. No one's playing this Elden Ring game. Elden Ring trademark, by the way, because you have to say it's Elden Ring trademark because it's a trademark property. I played another 4 or 5 hours of Elden Ring, and yeah, that game is phenomenal. And I feel like I can't touch this game anymore until I beat a few games on my list, because once I immerse myself in Elden Ring, I lose all concept of time. I don't want to go to work. I turn into a very grumpy person when I can't play it. So I need to put this game on the shelf for a while because it's done things to my life that I don't like. It's like one of those games I got truly addicted to. Like I was like, whoa, it's like 5:30 in the morning. I got to go to work in 2 hours. This is not good.
No.
It's like, fuck. I was like, oh, so I got dragged my ass to work, and my boss played Elden Ring, didn't you?
that's a good boss if he can identify that kind of stuff.
I was like, shit.
Are you okay? No.
Don't you like it though when you're at work all day and you feel fucked because it's
not even that.
Something.
You ever sit at work, CJ, and you're jonesing to get home just to play the fucking game? Like you're tapping your desk or clicking your pen. You're click on the back of your pen. You're like, fuck, I just want to go home and play this game.
I like it when you feel fucked like that. You've had a couple of hours or whatever else, and no one says anything, and you think I'm getting away with this. This is awesome. And then at the end of the day, someone's like, "You just look fucked." Everyone knows, just no one was going to say anything.
Oh, that's awesome,
dude. I went to I stumbled out of bed the one morning that I stayed up too late playing it, and I literally got dressed for work, didn't realize that I left the shirt on that I slept in that night underneath the sweatshirt I put on to go to work in. And I was like, fuck, I'm wearing a Zelda shirt under this. I can't, I'm a professional ass person. I can't be wearing this to work. So I had to go outside, and luckily I had a spare shirt in my car, because I usually do, because I get clothes ripped off me all the time at work. It's fucking
whoa.
Yeah, it's that kind of job, I don't get money thrown at me though, so don't think it's not that kind of job.
Not that kind of job.
No. Unfortunately, fucking not. I would just buy more games. Hey, if you want to rip my clothes off and throw money at me, we have Patreon for that.
Onlydads.com, baby.
That's that new tier.
It's that fuck money tier.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, make that a new tier. Literally make it $100 a month and call it the Only Dads tier.
Oh my god.
We just put up content like us mowing the lawn and stuff. Only Dads.
Oh my god. Shirtless.
Yes.
Shirtless lawn mowing.
Probably a mark
with a Bud Light in one hand.
Oh my god. I'm not holding piss water in my hand. You can pass on that.
I was going to have my seltzer water.
Yeah,
it's piss water. That's on brand. It's piss water. But I played a lot of stuff this week. But I feel like the thing I had the most fun with, and I don't know if we want to turn this into part of the segment of what we've been playing. I just the one game I keep drawing myself back to is Ys 8, and I really I want to beat it, but I know if I beat it, and CJ knows exactly what I'm gonna do when I beat it. I'm just gonna go buy Ys 9. And then I'm going to want to play that. But I know I have to take a break. And I honestly, CJ, after you talked about Atelier Ryza, that's all I really want to get next is Atelier Ryza, because I love Atelier. I love Atelier games. They're one of my favorite series of all time. Super underrated series. Super underrated.
Yeah.
And I rebought all those collections too, CJ. I spent $90 to buy each one of those sets. Oh yeah. I own them all on PS4 and Switch.
The new versions of those games, they're really, the old games don't, because all the alchemy, but the new ones really respect your time as well. So if you were to jump into one of the new ones, it's not 100 hours. Well, you don't have to spend that. Yeah.
I mean, I would anyway, because RPG players do that.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and end us, round this out with a couple games that I've been playing. The main one I'm going to talk about is that Resident Evil Resistance, that multiplayer.
But you played that?
4v1. Dude, I've been playing. So I haven't played a ton of games. This has been another one of those really busy weeks. But I've been playing. Matter of fact, that's what I'm playing now, on the show. But I've been playing a fair amount of it. And what I did was I went and I downloaded the game on all the consoles in the house, right? So I got my kids playing it with me, because I just assumed the servers are so dead for this game. The only way I'm going to get matches is if my kids play with me. And so, since it's not a proper Resident Evil story, I figured I'd let them play since they already play like Dead by Daylight and stuff. The content is a little more gory, and there's a little more language in there than I would prefer. So I've kind of made some accommodations for that, you know. But like, they love these 4v1 games, these killer versus survivor games. They love this stuff. And so what we've been doing is we've been playing that together. And I've been playing. I'm sitting here now, just getting matches constantly, playing online. But CJ and I played this together probably a year or two ago, and the game it's definitely got some jank to it. It's definitely a 4v1. You know, it's not balanced properly, in my opinion. The game is not. It's not meant for newbies. It's meant for people who grind it out and unlocked everything. But the game, no matter if you're the mastermind or if you're the survivor, I feel like the game, it's never properly balanced. You're never balanced based on level. But I'm playing it, and I'm actually having a good time, even though I'm basically just dying over and over and over again. I played some WWE 2K22. Myself,
it's so good.
It really is. Myself and Spider Packs played 3 Royal Rumbles before we got on the show tonight. And had a good time with it. Played some Layers of Fear. I'd only got 4 trophies in the game. I don't think I'm that far. I know how long to beat says it's only like 5 or 6 hours to beat the campaign. And I think I'm probably 2 hours into it. Not a bad game. I like Bloober Team. I like their work. I don't know that I'm really digging this game yet. Like, it's a lot of jump scares, and the story is kind of bare bones. I'm reading all the little notes and stuff that I find and everything, but I don't know. It's a game. It's not terrible. I don't know that I love the first person horror, like, walking sims, you know, like I don't know what I'm looking for, but I guess because it does have combat in it, I'm not like overly enamored with it. But overall, not a terrible game by any stretch. I just don't think I love it. It hasn't really clicked for me yet. And then the only other thing I guess I'll bring up is I've been playing some Minecraft Dungeons. Played that with the boys. I think I got a couple trophies in there, not too many. My trophy acquiring has been trash lately. Just really not getting a ton of them, but
achievement.
Hey, somebody's getting them. But outside of that, I'm not playing anything that's like. I'm still working on my pledges, so but I haven't made any real progress in them. So I got some hours ahead of me still. But overall, I'm enjoying playing this tonight. You know, it's something I don't have to listen to. You know, like Dead by Daylight, you can't play while you're doing something else. You really need to hear the music and the killers moving in that game. Whereas this Resident Evil Resistance, I don't have to hear anything. Like this is perfectly fine just walking through the game and doing the objectives. And like right now, I'm just getting killed by zombies, so I'm not even really any help to my team. And no one talks in there. Fortunately, no one talks in the game. So like I don't have to talk to anybody. I just hit buttons and go. So
I was going to ask you, Resident Evil man, what wasn't there some sort of multiplayer thing supposed to come with 8? Or
yes, Reverse.
Is that not happening anymore?
You know, they delayed it to this year, and then I haven't heard anything else about it. So we will see. I want it to happen. It looks like a arena-based shooter with all the different characters throughout the franchise. And to me, like, even if it's not great, that's got to be fun, you know. Like, who doesn't want to just run around and kill people as your favorite characters from your favorite survival horror franchise? So that's definitely a game that when it comes out, I'm going to play it on sheer principle. But I mean, I platinumed freaking Umbrella Corps, and that game was arguably one of the worst games ever released in the franchise. And I got with a cool group of trophy, hunters and boosters and hardcore Resident Evil fans. So like we just had a good time. It was 80 hours well spent. I would love to get a good boost group together for this game, but I don't necessarily want to get. I don't know that I'm looking for an experience where we get in for 2 hours at a time and everything's super coordinated and everybody's like, oh, all right, now you do this. All right, now you do this. I don't know that like that's how I want to spend my game time. So I'm just kind of chipping away at it. And like, if I get trophies, I get them. If I don't, I don't. But, while we're doing the show, this is perfect. So,
all right. Well, I'm going to hit you with something that's going to make you happy.
What you got?
All right, so since I finished one of my pledges, I only got one left, and it's Sleeping Dogs. And since you're not making any real progress in it, there's something I want to start doing that we talked about. And you told me to let you know when I was going to do it. And the first Resident Evil game is downloading on my Xbox right now. So,
oh, you dirty dog! I
know. All right.
Yeah. My plan was to have Sleeping Dogs finished this month. This month is getting a little carried away with just other obligations. So I will definitely have Sleeping Dogs finished next month. I like to get the pledges and get them knocked out, and like have consistent, it's nice to have that. Oh man, I need to be playing this game. I need to be working on this, and I need to be, taking it in and making content for Patreon. So I enjoy having that as almost like the driving force into knocking out some of the bigger games. So it's definitely something I'm gonna finish up soon and get back to for sure. But I will always play some Resident Evil. And my son and I, like, we just beat a few months ago. We just beat the first Resident Evil with Jill. So we were talking about going back and beating it with Chris. So,
well, there you go.
Now you're twisting my arm there, buddy.
I mean, I think
who wouldn't want to beat it with Chris? He's the guy that gets more and more muscly, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how he can beat off. That's how he can beat Rocks from beating off so much.
There you go.
We're totally detracting, but I was watching on Amazon because I couldn't find anything to watch Prime, and it was I don't remember what show it was. It wasn't good. It's one of their flagship shows or whatever else. It's a one-word thing. It might be like Spent. Yes, Reacher. Yeah.
You just said that wasn't good? This. What?
Well, no, it's good. It's not like amazing. Like I'm enjoying it, but it's not like I don't know. It's not something anyone's talking about here anyway. But I was watching it now. I don't know the gentleman's name or whatever else. And I was watching. My partner came in and watched it for like 20 minutes, and he's like, "This is fucking dreadful." And he goes, "I know where you're watching it." And because the guy is like, who is the guy? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name. Built like a fucking brick shithouse.
Yeah,
he wears a bit too much shirt, but he's a wonderful looking dude. And it's just. I don't know who the target audience for that show is, but there should be more women watching it.
Collide.
Yeah, dude, he plays
he played Thad
Titans.
Castle too.
He also he was in that CW Superman show. What was it called? Smallville.
Was he? Really?
Wasn't he like Aquaman or something like that in Smallville?
Who cares? That show fucking sucked.
I don't know. Smallville sucked. Get out of here.
Smallville's terrible.
You are so fired. Go.
Do you like anything,
fired.
Joe? Do you like anything?
I don't.
You want to know what he likes? The best wrestling promotion today.
AEW. Okay. We forgive you.
Dude, shout out to Hook on his Dynamite debut. Hook's tearing it up.
That's right. All right. Speaking of tearing it up, let's move on over to our Loot Bros leaderboard. Zach, you got him queued up?
I do. Since we started with the I'm Styling on You leaderboard last week, we'll start with the True Trophies leaderboard this week. In first place is the Affectatious Donk himself with 247 trophies. Man, killed it this week. CJ, you've been playing a lot of games, I see.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of trophies in Far Cry 6. So that's all I can say.
Okay, fair enough. And then in second place, we got Redbeard Rick with 71 trophies. In third place, we're skipping third place. In fourth place is Residentdarrell with 30 trophies. Playing that 2K22. And then in fifth place, Dat One Segel with 24 trophies. He's actually playing the Batman Telltale series.
Who the hell was in third place?
Ooh, no.
Who do you think is in third place? I'm not uttering his name on this podcast. Not unless he's on this podcast.
Oh, he who shall not be named was in third place?
Yeah, yeah. That's how we should start referring to him on the podcast. He who should not be named is in third place with 34 trophies. Wow. Daryl, you let him beat you this week by 4 trophies. I'm disappointed in you, son.
Where did I land this week? I thought I had a serviceable week.
You
Maybe not. I don't know.
Landed in 8th place with 17.
Oh damn! I had a shit week.
Yeah, you're below Stink Palm and Gaz.
Jesus. Maybe Stink Palm beat me?
Yep.
Hey, that's like eating a shit sandwich. Shout out to Stink Palm.
You're just one pigeon pea away from taking it all down, trust me.
Yeah, I will never
It'll only take you a minute as well.
I will never result to that just to gain first place on the leaderboard.
Just click refresh on the leaderboard. Suddenly I'm in second place.
It's okay, because I was joking around with a bunch of people that I was going to make a Be Legit trophy leaderboards where like you can't use any spam on the leaderboards or you're automatically disqualified.
Do it. You won't do it. You scared?
And I would name it the Levi Be Legit trophy.
There you go. Hey,
trophy leaderboard.
So I snuck out to the outside the house to take a leak while you were reading the leaderboards.
The hell?
And you're like, he who shall not be named. I was laughing. I'm like, my neighbors are watching me through the window taking a piss out the side of the house. And they're like, why is he sitting there peeing and giggling at the same time? What's wrong with this crazy man?
You're like, don't you have a house to pee in that you're standing right next to?
I'm in the basement and the plumbing is like we don't have it's not a finished bathroom down here. There is plumbing, but like not enough to actually use. So like I got to run out to the little mini patio and pee off the side of it. Or I could run up, 2 flights of stairs, but who wants to do that?
It's good you're making the effort, unlike old mate's wife. Just shit in the bed, didn't you?
And blamed it on the dog.
Filthy animals.
That is one psychotic setup. That whole thing. That is wild.
That bitch is crazy.
110%.
Dude, all right, we'll get there for real in the show. We're gonna get there, but good God, that has been some of the most entertaining stuff. Like, I'm like, why isn't there a reality TV show about those two? Why aren't there cameras in their house right now? Like, what are we doing here?
Because Johnny Depp and Amber Heard would both be in prison.
But if you say it's for the show, it's okay.
No, I don't think that's how that works.
I mean, if it was a reality TV show, I feel like they would get away with it. I feel like Darrell is onto something here.
I don't quite think cocaine would get away with it.
I mean, Rick James.
Fuck your couch.
All right, what have you already read both the leaderboards? I was
nope. We just did the true trophies. Now we're back. Now we're on the I'm styling on you leaderboards. In first place, of course, I'm styling on you, bro, with 48,780 achievement points.
Get it.
In second place, Mr. Sony Pony TU with 9,285 achievement points. Man, it seems like you're in first place on the trophies leaderboard every week, and you're in second place every week on the Xbox leaderboard. Yeah. So I'm gonna need you to slow down a little bit. Do you work?
Yeah, and well, not for the last 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's fair.
Hey, look, don't let him fool you. He's got it figured out too, to where he's working and he'll still get those numbers. So
that's fair.
Work means nothing.
Static will be back next week.
Oh no,
Static will be back.
Static's actually here. He actually tripled his score from last week. He is in third place with 3,394 achievement points.
There you go.
Come to play.
Yours truly is in fourth place with 415 achievement points.
Nice.
GDI Master Ace is in fifth with 165 achievement points. I'm glad to see him back on the leaderboards. We haven't seen him as much. He used to kill the leaderboards every week.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes it ebbs and flows. Glad to see him back on.
And JT is on here playing a terrible game called Outriders.
That game's not that
$9. I feel like I might pick it up eventually.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it plays like Gears.
It's weird. It's not. I don't know. The story didn't grip me in the first hour and a half, and I was just
I'll wait for it to come to PS Plus Pass, guys. I gotta be like that now.
You're not allowed to buy any more games. You have to finish a lot of games already. You've already started. You've started Elden Ring.
I bought Elden Ring. I've never even downloaded it.
Hey, Darrell, you have what we'd like to say is an addiction, but the problem is you don't have a voice of reason.
No,
Joe has a voice of reason.
I bought it for my son. Okay, and he said today he's not really digging it.
After he's probably put like 40 hours into it.
Possibly, yeah. But he said, I asked him today, I was like, so how's the Elden Ring? He's like, it's okay. I was like, really?
It's just such a grind. And I enjoy that kind of environment. I'm a D&D player. That's why like Tiny Tina's clicked so well. And I don't know. I'm with Joe. As soon as I start playing, I'm not going to want to, and I'm getting ready to go out of town for work again for 2 weeks. So I'm going to sit in a hotel room and play nothing but games. So I have 3 games playing or downloading right now. So hopefully I'll get through a couple.
Do it. Get through all the games. How about this? Let's all make a pact. None of us are going back to work until we beat another game.
Negative. Well, okay. Never mind.
I just beat Lego Hobbit, so we're good. We're good there. I just beat Lego Hobbit, so I can go back to work. Yes, I beat Lego Hobbit on the show. +2.
Oh dang!
Darrell, you have the backlog beatdown pulled up?
I definitely do. I am definitely not clicking around. Trying to get back into that menu.
You know what that reminds me of? I listen to the Giant Bomb podcast, and every week, like the guy obviously forgets to bring up the document they're reading from. Well, one of the guys, the other 2 hosts are all over it, and every week he makes this lame like, "Oh shit, I just got logged out of it here," you know, and he's like goes on this whole rant, but he's just fucking forgotten every week to log in. It's hilarious.
Well, what's funny is I have like 30 tabs open at all times, and then I never have the one I need, right? So I always have the data entry sheet brought up. I never have the actual like stats. And it's like, click over to, oh, dang it, I'm in the wrong one. Let me back out real fast. All right. CJ took first place from Diego with 49 points. Good.
Whoop, whoop.
Get it?
Ooh, I thought he came back.
Well, he's got 48 points now. I think he dropped something in the group today.
Yeah,
he did.
Okay, well, I didn't update it this morning. So whatever was put in there today is going to get updated for next week. So CJ's got the lead. Diego is in second place with 48 points. Next is Redbeard Rick with 44. Then you got Gaz Davis with 35. Then you got Residentdarrell with 30. Tied with JT for 30. I'm styling on you, bro, with 21. Joe is a tentative 16. But I hear that he's going to be adding his points up, so who knows? We might have some real stuff on there. He might be a real competitor for a change. And then Zach's got 15. Zach's going to be stepping his game up real soon, though. We got James the Nerd. Okay, now look here. We got Redbeard Rick's son is catching up with you, Zach. All right. So you got to, and Tricky's catching up with you. He's right behind you with 12 points. You can't let Tricky pass you.
Oh, that's right. He beat the Skywalker saga.
Yep. And so you got Alex with 11, Jared with 10, but actually I think we got to add his bunker in there for 2 more because I don't think I added that one in there just yet.
Oh, and hang on a second. Give the man praise. One of the greatest turd nurses of the year. He finally finished Persona 5. That was amazing.
Yeah,
right.
saw that.
He's been nursing that thing forever.
I gotta go beat that. That's on my list of 10 games. I actually have to beat one of those 10 games. You know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe.
Do it. Next up, you got Homer and Corey tied with 9. You got Noah with 8. Yield with 6. MZ with 5. MZ's falling off the map. He's got so busy streaming and playing all these community games with the trophy skanks that he's fallen off of his. He was on a nice little tear of platinums there for a while. Nice, good quality platinums. Next, we got John Michael and T-Bird with 4. James McCall with 3. You got Jim, Kalai, Levi, Spider Packs, and wow, it's Brandy with 2. So leave it to Brandy to pull up the rear. Wow. So
and big I don't know if you saw this, Diego. What is the EDJ or whatever? Yeah. The other week or so, he goes, is finally letting go of trophies and completion and just playing games, which is great to see. It's the whole point of this fucking pursuits, which are virtual bling, of which they have so little anyway. Why are you obsessed with it when you've got like a handful of things? I don't understand. But he's done that. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm always happy to see that or whatever else. And he finished Metal Gear 4, and I'm like, I wonder what percentage he got. Like, I don't know. I wasn't even looking for it. I was just looking through to see what he's playing at the moment, how many points he's going to knock off in the next week or something. And Metal Gear 4, 7%. Now, like, okay, I'm all for just playing the game, but how do you play a game like that and get 7% of the trophies, even when you're not concentrating? It's just, what is going on, sir? Like 20% is respectable, but 7%.
That's Kojima. You got to do all kinds of crazy stuff to get trophies.
He must be going around the bloody trophies. He's like, oh shit, there's a trophy there. I'll come around here and go back in. Like, I respect that. That's impressive.
He went from trophy collector to trophy dodge.
That's right. That's commitment. I like it.
So he's starting a new podcast, the Trophy Dodgers.
You should have Tricky on that show.
Trophies. Oh,
I'm sorry. He who shall not be
named. You got to say it like Snipe though.
Who the hell is Snipe? You mean Snape?
Same thing.
He said Snipe.
I called him Sneed last time. I was like,
"Hey, you have to respect Alan Rickman. He's no longer here."
Bro. I told my kids are like, I don't know. We were talking about something. I was like, "Oh, you mean Sneed?" And they're like, "Who the freak is that?" I'm like, I don't know. Who's that guy with the? Who's that emo guy with the long hair?
No wonder why you weren't invited to Universal.
Like, you don't even know their names.
They're like, this turn's gonna ruin our day, so we're just gonna leave him home.
No Wizarding World for you.
And I'm all like, let's go see that Dumbledore. And then
Dumbledore movie.
My daughter's like, Daddy. So, all right, speaking of Dumbledorks, here we go. Diego writes in and says, what video games that have been universally praised could you not get into no matter how hard you tried? So we'll start with CJ. What is a game that no matter how much people wank to it, you just can't get into it?
Well, I suppose Kojima games. I never played any of the Metal Gear games. I tried to play a couple, and then I did play the Death Stranding, and I finished it. But I don't know. Like, I like the concept, like of really different and weird. But I don't understand the fascination, to be honest, with him. I think there's other people doing interesting things as well. He's some sort of god or something, I think. I don't know. Him, and then I think, like, we joke about it, but that Horizon, I don't know. Like, I don't want to go on about it, but the point is very clear. Like, it's just a total ripoff of Assassins and The Witcher. And I must be the only person that feels that way because everyone loves it. And I don't understand why you wouldn't play the other two instead. And even to a degree, the new Horizon Forbidden West, like, I made a joke that it's like, it was a fun, intro to Assassin's Creed, because that's what it feels like. You finish the game and you expect the title to come up and now the game starts, sort of thing. Like, it's just, they're bite-sized games, even though it's like 30 hours or 20 hours. They're bite-sized RPGs. They're not, fleshed out 100-hour things, and yet everybody loves them. And I don't know, I don't as much. So I suppose those couple.
Yeah. I mean, hey, not everything is for everybody. What about you, Zach?
The Metal Gear games I really never got. Yeah, I was greatly agreeing with CJ on that. Everybody talks about how great the Metal Gear Solid games were, especially like 1 through 3 were like god tier in a lot of people's opinions, and I just could never really enjoy them. And then let's do an underrated game series that a lot of people have taken for granted and forgot about, the Splinter Cell games.
Oof.
Or one that I really enjoy. I'm actually playing. I'm downloading Blacklist again. Right,
that's a good game.
Again, my favorite one was actually Conviction.
Yes, I agree.
The one where they stole where they took his daughter.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was probably one of my favorite ones out of the whole series. But
not only is that an amazing game, but the presentation, the way that they would throw the text on the environment. That was the first game I've ever played like that. Like, that game was so cool. And the Spies versus Mercs mode, oh my gosh, so good. So freaking good.
Yeah, that's what I got. What about you, Joe?
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Well,
I just tried it so many times, and I don't get the appeal. Like, and I even tried, like, Minecraft, like, with a story. Like, I tried, like, Dragon Quest Builders, and I was like, this is okay, but it's still just Minecraft. And I don't know, I just can't get into it. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I would like something like that, because I like to waste time in games and just do, like, random shit and like build worlds and stuff. And I don't know. It just never appealed to me, like ever.
So there's an indie developer, and I put it in our chat that that's talking about coming on the show, and 2 of their games are on Game Pass, and one of their games it's literally like it's not even like a story game. It's literally just a waste time game. I don't know if it has any achievements or not. It's called Townscaper. It's on Game Pass for free, and it's literally just building towns,
dude.
And that's literally all it is. And it's building like little towns on the water. It looks like. It looks really cool for like a game to just sit there and like zen out and play, like just to like come down from a hard day of work or something like that.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes you need those. Sometimes there's games that like I can't wait to play, but then it's like I come home from a crappy day at work or a tough day at work, and it's like I don't want to play anything heavy. I don't want to play anything that requires a lot of brain power. Sometimes I just want to turn the brain off and fish in Minecraft. So I dig that. As for me, we've had a question similar to this before, so I'm not going to repeat my answer and say the Souls games because those just have never clicked for me. But I'm going to say like Battle Royale. Like they just don't work. I don't know what it is about. I guess maybe if someone made like a Battle Royale that had like a good trophy list that was fun to go for. But I've tried multiple battle royales, and I just think that I don't have what it takes to be interested in dropping in, dying for nothing. I don't care about the battle pass. I don't care about the skins. And I'm not just talking about Fortnite. I'm talking about other games too. Like I played PUBG, didn't care for it. I thought it was janky as crap, and you'd think that'd be right up my alley, but. Yeah. I played H2Z, which I like that way better than all the others. But even then, that wasn't enough to keep me into it, And then I've played Fortnite with my kids off and on. But like, it just doesn't click, no matter how many times I try. I would love to get into a game like that where it's like, oh, I only have an hour. Since I can't play spam, let me just drop into a battle royale and go. But I just don't like them. Just don't enjoy them. So
maybe you'll like the Halo one when it comes out.
I mean, I wish I liked Halo. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, we're not going to keep bringing it up.
I wish I liked 343. They suck. I'm not even mad at Halo. I'm just mad at them.
Yeah.
So, all right. Diego also writes in, he goes, what are some of your favorite video game soundtracks? And he gives a special shout out to Donkey Kong Country 2. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. We haven't talked about video game soundtracks in a long time. So I definitely have a few that I really adore. But CJ, favorite video game soundtracks?
I didn't really know. Do you want to go first? I didn't even think about that. Sorry.
Oh no, you're totally good. Joe, I know Joe's got a few.
Oh, definitely. Persona, all of the series, the entire series has amazing soundtracks. I would say 4 and 5 are my 2 favorite. Like just, oh man, and then the rhythm games that they made for those, oh man, it takes to another level. I could cheat and say Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because it's probably the best gaming soundtrack of all time. Because you take every great Nintendo game and then every character that they put in those games and you smash all that music together and put it on like one playlist, and it's like the best video game soundtrack of all time. Like nothing touches it. But if you want to go game by game and like really give a true answer, I would say like I said, Persona, and then I had one on the tip of my tongue and now I lost it and I'm really mad. Like I just had the perfect answer, and I would say Zelda. I would say Link to the Past is my favorite soundtrack of all time. Like I just think the music in Link to the Past is like the genesis for and the jumping off point for every single like Legend of Zelda song going forward. They all take that formula from Link to the Past. Like all the main themes come from that game for the most part, as far as like moving forward in the series. Like it's some iteration of those songs, and I just think that game is just a wonderful fucking game. I think the soundtrack in Zombies Ate My Neighbors for Super Nintendo is absolutely phenomenal. Very cool horror soundtrack. Very, very well done 16-bit soundtrack. And then Kingdom Hearts. And I found the answer. Okay, so there's this little game called Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm and it takes all the themes from Final Fantasy and all like the battle music and puts it into one game. And you do like these touch-based rhythm game, and it's for 3DS. And it's probably my favorite soundtrack of like any game because it takes all the great music from Final Fantasy and like jams it all into one game. That's my answer.
Dope. What about you, Zach?
So if we're doing like classically like made music from like personally made music, I'm gonna have to go with Halo 3. That soundtrack was really good. Halo 2's is a close second when it comes to original. And then if we're doing like songs that other people have made, SmackDown versus Raw 2007 was one of my favorite ones for songs. Couple 3 Days Grace songs, a couple non-point songs. Super good soundtrack for that video game.
Dude, what was it? Day of Reckoning 2 on GameCube. The opening menu song is Firefly by Breaking Benjamin. So good. So good. I love those games for the soundtracks. So I got so my go-to all-time favorite is the Resident Evil 2 original soundtrack. Now I know you guys have heard me say that before, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. That one still is the king to me. It has just, in my opinion, just the best. It is so good. I love the Silent Hill soundtracks, and I went back and listened to them a good bit about a year or two ago. I was on a bit of a tear, like just couldn't get enough of them. Josh Adams, my co-host on the Comic Cast, he and I were doing like that Resident Evil Silent Hill kind of review matchup we were doing. And like, because of that, I was listening to those soundtracks a good bit to kind of compare them. So the Silent Hill, the first three soundtracks are so eerie and disgusting and awesome. As for something a little more modern, I think that the Doom 2016 soundtrack is just it's a masterpiece. It is heavy, deep tune guitar, lots of riffage, and the story behind that soundtrack is that I guess id didn't want they didn't want like guitars in their soundtrack. And so Mick Gordon was like, not only will I give you guitars, but I'm going to give you deep tune 8-string guitars, and I'm going to rip your face off. And Doom plays like a rhythm game with the intensity of the soundtrack. And so it's just so cool. Absolutely love it.
Oh, man.
You want to go full gen? We can go full gen.
Yeah, dude. Doom Eternal has an amazing soundtrack, and Mick Gordon didn't use that one.
I need to play that still.
Dude, the soundtrack's better than the game.
That's what I've heard. That's the only thing. That's the only good thing I heard about the game.
The platforming in that game is annoying.
Yeah, well, I heard they're like, oh, you didn't like the platform in the first game? Here's like fucking like 900 more things to platform on.
It's so much worse.
I got another one, Darrell.
Go for it.
Devil May Cry 5.
I was just about to say that one. That was my next one.
And DMC, the Combi Christ soundtrack from DMC.
Yes,
man,
that is
so
really
good.
So now I listen to the Max Payne 3 soundtrack a lot. Like that is in my like top playlist for. I listen to music score while I read. So whether I'm reading novels or comics or anything like that, I listen to music score. And dude, I listen to the Max Payne 3 soundtrack is part of my playlist or whatever. I freaking love it. But dude, it is so much better in game than it is outside of the game. Like there is I can't remember who did it now, who does the soundtrack now. But the way that they do it, the EDM parts and some of the sound effects that they use and a little bit of the ominous like hum in the background is so freaking good during that game. Like Max Payne 3 has one of the best soundtracks ever. It's so good. So I'm not huge. Health is the band. Health is the ones that did it.
I'm hoping they remaster not remaster, just port 3 when they remaster the first two. Like I hope they just give us the opportunity to replay them. Replay that game.
Yes.
It's underrated Max Payne game. Like everyone gives it shit because like it just played completely different than the first two games, but I feel like it had to. It's on a modern console. What are you expecting?
Dude, that is one of those hidden gems that I say hidden gems, sleeper gems for me. It sat on it and sat on it and sat on it. When I played that game like a couple years ago, that hit at the best time. I freaking loved every second of that game. So, those are some of my favorites. And then Diego, CJ, did you come up with one that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like particular songs, I suppose, within games. Maybe. Overall soundtracks, but maybe the Final Fantasy 15, some of them that the Leviathan theme, the trial of the Leviathan, and links into the A Prayer for Luna. Some really, I don't know, but it's sort of paired with the gameplay, I think, as well. Some phenomenal. I'm a sucker for choir and orchestra going berserk, or like woman wailing over something type music in games. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I dig it. I don't remember the Final Fantasy 15 soundtrack, but the majority of the time I played that game and that we played that game on the podcast was back when we used to stream the show live and we couldn't hear it. So I couldn't hear the soundtrack even if I wanted to. But yeah, that's definitely music score over the past probably 5 years has been something that I've gotten into more than I ever thought I would. And I absolutely adore just some good music score. And I've been reading a ton of comics. Like now that I'm doing my schooling, all of my downtime where I can't play games, breaks and lunches and stuff like that at work have been like reading. And I'll put on like a shuffle playlist of like, I don't know, 1,000 songs. I don't remember how many's in there. I know it's over 700. And I'll be reading, and from panel to panel, like the music will change in the background and it'll escalate, it'll ramp up. And sometimes it's almost like it fits the stories. And it's so cool. Like I love listening to music score as I'm reading. I'm reading the 3rd Resident Evil novel right now, City of the Dead. And dude, just like you're reading like a chase scene, you know what I'm saying? In there, and then like the music score in the background's like ramping up. And it's so unintentional, but it's so cool.
So that's funny.
It's funny, isn't it? Like
you got to get to the 5th book now.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, it's funny because a lot of those games you mentioned, I don't know if you know the composer Jason Graves.
Yes.
He composed a lot of that music you're talking about. And I remember playing the Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider, 2013, 12, somewhere in there. And I remember enjoying the music then because it was bizarre, like music. And I looked into him, and he's a guy that created his own weird instrument for that soundtrack. It was sort of like garbage can with things sticking out of it and all this sort of stuff. But if you don't know his name, he's the guy. He's done everything. DMC. He did the Man of Medan, the Dark Pictures. He's the composer for that as well. And yeah, he's good, isn't he? Like he's like a horror movie composer for games, or he's a film composer for games, really.
Yes. I have a lot of his stuff in my playlist, dude. I'm a big
even if
fan
you don't think you've
Graves.
played one of his games, you definitely have.
He did Far Cry Primal as well.
Yeah, stack.
So yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, and he did. Oh, another one. I didn't even think about this. Okay, now that you bring him up, one of my this soundtrack has been getting into my soul lately. The soundtrack from Order 1886. That soundtrack. If you've never listened to it, listeners, podcast guys, if you've never listened to it, the violins and the string instruments in that like soundtrack is so good, and I listen to that a lot. That's also in my like big playlist of reading music, and I'll just listen to that soundtrack by itself. Like I adore that soundtrack, and that's actually what turned me on to him as a composer, was that one. And then I started realizing, I'm like, wait a minute, he did the Tomb Raider reboot. I think he did some stuff for Prey. He's done a bunch of stuff that I'm into. So maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was Mick Gordon that did Prey. Either way, tons of great stuff. Check out Jason Graves. So,
and I almost forgot. I always pronounce it wrong, so fuck it. Someone should shout out, although it'll be none of you, or maybe Joe, the Hatsune Miku. How could you not love her music? It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you even know who that is?
Hatsune Miku or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, okay. Well, she's the Japanese Vocaloid, all those rhythm games or whatever.
Yep.
It's so funny because I have a new, like she's been for a few lessons or whatever, a senior student preparing for university. And so she's 17, 18, to study music or whatever. And so getting her ready for the final auditions. And we were talking the other day, and because, I don't advertise that I play games in a professional setting like that because we're there to work and I'll talk about Nightfall or whatever. And she started to tell me about that she's really into K-pop. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's, it's not huge in Australia or K-pop. And then we got onto J-pop. And I said, oh, do you know this Hatsune? Oh, my God, I love Hatsune. And we got into this massive conversation, which doesn't interest your listeners at all, I'm sure. But it's bizarre because I don't know, she seems to have, the Vocaloid seems to have disappeared a little bit. I think she got married. A Japanese guy married her. And that's been, she's probably become a housewife or whatever. So
well, over in with some of the Japanese like stars and stuff like that, like it's kind of like against their contracts and stuff to like get married and have kids, and then when they do, they kind of like their management and stuff will just let them go. They'll stop working with them.
Yeah, well, I think they let him marry this because it's a projection, obviously. Vocaloid, it's not a real person. He was allowed to marry her, which just it's Japan, so anything can go, anything goes. But
anything goes.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's locked her in the basement now. I don't know. To private shows.
Jeez. Well, we're never going to have a Japanese developer on the show. Thanks.
Yeah, you know what?
As long as he doesn't shit in her bed.
I was about to say, Amber Heard has definitely done way worse. So
well, I definitely don't want her on the show ever.
It's gonna shit in her miso, and then it's gonna escalate from there.
I'm gonna be very honest with you guys, okay? If Amber Heard's management said, "Hey, we're trying to do this press tour to clear her up, make her more marketable, get her back as Queen Mera," I would be like, "Absolutely, Loot Bros is where you need to be. Bring her on." I would not discriminate against her. Or
Darrell be like, I'll let you shit on my chest for 400.
No, I ain't going that far. Jeez.
It's the only time I would love. Well, there's a few things I would love to say in church as I don't know, what do you call people that stand up but they're not actually like official, but they still get to preach sometimes? And maybe that doesn't happen anymore. But I would love to stand up in front of a congregation and just say the words, "Who among us has not shit the bed?" It seems like such an appropriate, don't judge anyone until you walk in their shoes.
Yeah.
Or shit.
I don't know.
In your case.
That's some of the wildest crap, dude. That's so freaking funny. Like,
it was a wild terrible. Crap, apparently.
Oh, there we go.
It's just wonderful. They have more money than God, yet they feel they need to air all their problems in front of everyone. It's just bizarre.
It's funny because all the headlines are the Johnny Depp defamation suit, and I'm over here going, you mean the defecation suit? All right, Diego left us one more. He said, "What are some hilarious memories you have from your high school years?" He wants to follow up with those embarrassing stories from last week. So
he likes the fart stories.
Don't we all?
I listened to last week's episode again while I was working this week, and just to listen to those stories again, and I just couldn't help but laugh. And someone was like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Oh, you didn't know? Farting in people's faces."
Yeah, duh. Step off, man. Step off. I listened back to it when I was editing it. I laughed. Oh my gosh. I laughed. I was like, man.
Instead of like dubstep, is that like fart step?
I mean, it's fartcore.
Fartcore.
Fartcore. All right. So, CJ, you want to start us off with a hilarious high school memory, or?
Well, I don't have a fart story, so he probably won't find it hilarious. But I don't know. Well, I suppose, I don't know. I found this funny at the time, I suppose. I have two, so it'll be brief. You may not find them funny, I suppose. So when we're about 15 here, we do a work experience program. I'm sure you do it similar in the States, where you go to a job and you just try it out. You see what they do and stuff like that. So I was really interested in law, so I thought I'll go to a law firm. So I went to a law firm in the city, and the guy sort of knew my parents, so it was cool. He took you to court. You didn't just get put in a back room and shit and did nothing. So you got to see what they did and stuff. And then anyway, one day there's not much going on or whatever, and they're like, this old computer, can you just enter these numbers in? Like they were billable hours. I didn't really realize at the time for clients. So I did it, and I got a bit bored, and I stopped concentrating, and I must have just been typing like random numbers in.
Oh my God.
And I didn't realize. But no, I didn't like do it intentionally. Like I just, zoned out. And anyway, the next day they came in, and apparently because it's automated, the program had drawn up all the bills, and some people were billed like 1,000 hours when they'd had like 10 and like 500 hours. And the guy's like, and I didn't realize at the time because they sort of covered it over and whatever, but I realized later on that I probably cost them like a whole day's work in fixing up their whole database.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I thought that was hilarious. And then the only other one like I could think of was, and I don't know, like is like a sex story, because they're all hilarious. When you're, I don't know, is this too far over the line? Maybe when you're in high school or whatever. And so I always had like most of my friends were always female. I had plenty of girlfriends or whatever else, and it wasn't unusual for them to like sleep over at the house or whatever, and sometimes even in my room. But being a gay boy or whatever, I had no interest, was always platonic or whatever else, and so this was all fine or whatever. And it was about, I think, 15 or something or whatever else. And so we obviously didn't have, because one of the great things about being gay is you have a lot of female friends, but it's sometimes difficult to make friends with guys, and self-conscious, I suppose, Darrell. I don't know, and or whatever else. And but it wasn't funny at the time. It was very serious. I almost got kicked out of the house. But we were 15 or whatever else, and I had a boyfriend, unbeknownst to my family, because it's very unacceptable way to be, or whatever else. And my parents, I thought, had gone away for the weekend. So he stayed over the night or whatever else. And my dad, who was very traditional Catholic, old school, whatever. And he may have walked in on us or something. And I think I was 15 or whatever else. And he, bless his soul, he pretended for most of the rest of his life he didn't understand what was happening. But he clearly did. He clearly did, or whatever else. And that was very awkward, sort of a thing. But it's not something I suppose you'd expect from your son. It was not something I expected either. It was a life-defining moment. But it was so funny because he thought, we'd had all these girls, like I always had girlfriends or well, friends that were girls, is a better way of putting it, I suppose. And they'd stayed over. So I think he was just sort of, shocked and disappointed at the same time. Confused in the Catholic way, I suppose. See, this was a time before it was acceptable for Catholic priests to just fuck men or boys.
Oh my God!
It wasn't known back then that that's what was going on. But,
Jesus God!
Jeez! Oh my!
Well, it's true though. Now Catholic
literally
Church
Jesus,
love gay
literally
people.
Jesus God.
Literally, yes, literally. Oh my goodness, that is something right there. Poor dad. I don't know. It's like it reminds me of that South Park episode, which I haven't seen South Park like in probably 15 years. But it's like when it's the Lord of the Rings episode where they rented the porno. Very similar to Joe's story from last week. And they like they're taking turns watching it, and the little token, his name's Token, the little black kid, he's like comes out of the room and he's like not wearing his costume anymore, and he's like, I don't know what it was. He's like, but I'm out, and he claps his hands and walks away. He's like, I want nothing else to do with this. I can imagine that's CJ's dad. It's like, I don't know what that was, but I'm out.
Well, my brother tells the story now, obviously years and years later, but I'd left the house by then, mutually agreed upon by everyone. And he must have been, I don't know, of a similar age or something, and he left pornography of the straight variety, I'm sure, open on the computer screen or whatever. And my dad was like this, well before computers and all this sort of stuff. And apparently he saw it, and his comment at the dinner table that night was, look, I can't afford this. We can't afford to have this on the computer. So he obviously thought, it cost money or whatever else, this sort of stuff, this smart. And it's just, you miss that. Like, I don't know, that those attitudes are so old fashioned now. They don't exist, I know, but it's funny. Like, younger people won't realize like how, all that. Well, we talked a little bit about it last week. With the internet now, you can get all that stuff whenever you want. But, it was when you first got the internet, whatever that was, 90s, something, 2000s, I don't know. All that sort of stuff was like, oh my God, everything's going to cost. That's going to really cost. Look at the size of those tits. They're really going to cost.
All right, Zach, you're up. Funny stories from high school. Or hilarious memories, I guess is the way it was written.
I don't really know if I have any, honestly. Nothing that like really sticks out. My high school time was fairly short and sweet. Well, okay. All right. So I did get a nickname my freshman year of high school, and everybody thought it was the funniest thing. So if no one has seen my face or no one knows what I actually look like, now I have a beard, but when I had a baby face, I looked very similar to Kevin James. And on the football team, like everybody got a nickname, and I was a little bit heavier set in high school, so everyone decided that my nickname was going to be Paul Blart. So no matter what, like we're at a football game or like we're on the field, like Paul Blart, take right. I'm like, I fucking hate you so much right now. And the other team's just looking at us confused as hell.
You can mask your plays, bro.
And then it's true. It made it a lot easier for them to do that, even though I was O-line and D-line, and then the other nickname I got when I had a bald head at one point when I was in JROTC on the rifle team. So the rifle team nicknamed me Buzz Lightyear. And I just decided to embrace it. So all of my my rifle equipment said Buzz Lightyear on it. So no one would ever steal my stuff. And my sir just looked so confused. He's like, why are you guys calling Ledford Buzz Lightyear? Sir, do you really not? Do you see how he looks? He doesn't look anything like Buzz Lightyear. Okay. But that's about it. I'd have to say that's the funniest, and like those are the things that stand out to me the most.
Oh, Buzz, man! I tell you what, we did some head shaving stuff back in high school, and God, dog, I feel bad for some of the people we ruined their heads. So, all right.
The funniest thing about that story is I realize how old I am, because both those two characters you refer to, I was like, I want to say like at least late teens or 20s, probably 20s.
Right. Well, CJ, just remember you're pretty close to being old enough to be my dad.
Yeah,
that's right. I thought you were going to say you're pretty close to being dead, and I was going to agree with that too.
Well, hey, you know what?
Jesus Christ.
I know you're pretty hard on the line with age. I've heard what you said before.
I know he's all over
just
the line.
Just to collide.
I mean, before you know, he's gonna start calling her mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Please do that. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh yes.
I really don't know how my wife would react to that. Mommy, what? Mommy, what?
She comes in there. You're on the internet with a bunch of strangers calling her mommy. She can be like, "What kind of sick crap are you doing in there?"
Right?
Be like, "You're fucking done with this group."
Like, I hear the stories they tell on this show. You're just going down this weird rabbit hole. Oh, mommy.
There's this awesome side quest line in Yakuza, Like a Dragon. I don't know if anyone's played it or got to that point. And it's all about this gentleman's club where the gentlemen dress up as babies, like adult babies. And this woman takes care. It's all obviously it really exists.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
That is insane. All right, Joe, you got some hilarious memories that you want to share with us?
Oh my God. I remember when we were doing drama, we used to like sneak through the woods, and then we realized that we could actually do it during class. So we're like, oh, well, like this will be fun. We can just skip school until our teachers caught on, and they would like sit in the bushes and wait for us to sneak out of class. And then pop out and be like, gotcha, motherfucker. It's like a shit. So my one friend's like running the opposite direction, like he's gonna outrun the PE teacher.
Did you say your wife ran or your white friend?
No, I said one of my friends tried to outrun the PE teacher, and it was like the most funny story ever. So, like, you know those, like, you ever see those stories where like people like run really fast in the woods and then they hit a tree and fall down? That's what happened to him. He was running really fast through the woods and he ran straight headfirst into a tree and just fell over, and then he got detention for a month. So yeah,
that's amazing.
I have to ask, seeing you brought up PE teachers, did you at school or high school have dodgy PE teachers? Because I'll never forget one of the head of our PE department knocked up one of the year 12 students when I was in year 8 or something. Gosh. And they had like this full-blown affair and they're just dodgy. Every one of them was dodgy. I don't know. Maybe it's Australian.
We had a dodgy music teacher. She was running around with one of the football players that we had. And we didn't believe him until it became like a school-wide thing. And then it was like, whoa, he wasn't lying.
We had one teacher who got caught for sexual harassment of students and got fired when we were in 7th grade.
Okay, so
And he was a creeper. Like, he was like a really weird-looking old guy. I was like, no one would fucking sleep with this guy. How the fuck is this possible?
So we had I think he was a biology teacher. I didn't actually have his class, but he did like after school, like working out and exercising and stuff for like the kids that weren't like on sports teams or anything. He was just a really like relatable person. He was still somewhat young. It's like I think he just started teaching. Well, a lot of stuff came out and they said that like he was sleeping. He was like they caught him sleeping with one of our friends. Well, nothing ever got like revealed like during our high school time. All that happened is we know he left that school year. So, but ironically, now that I am an adult, I found our friend on Facebook after many, many years, and they are now married.
Whoa!
So
it's a happy ending.
Yeah.
Whoa!
He's not
more ways than one, CJ.
I just thought that was like the weirdest thing because like now she won't be friends. Like she's like doesn't talk to any of us now because we all like knew what was going on and none of us thought it was appropriate. So we all obviously said something and got him fired.
You were about to say something, CJ?
Oh no, just when you said biology, we had maybe they're dodgy as well because we had this dude and he used to carry this thermos around with him all the time. It's full of alcohol. Like you didn't realize what's going on when you're in year 8 or 9, and he'd get progressively more and more. He eventually got fired as well, but he'd eventually get more and more drunk as the day went on. So by the last lesson, he was the best teacher to have because he'd just be asleep on the desk pretty much. He wouldn't have to do anything. It's wonderful. That sort of stuff doesn't go on so much anymore. It's a shame.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
Well, kids are missing out.
Oh man, people value their jobs now.
It's life education.
So one of the stories I got one that's like high school and one that's like right out of high school. This one for high school. This was kind of bad. I mean, by like today's standards, and you guys know, but I'm not one of those PC people that thinks that like, everything that's ever just mildly offensive or inappropriate should have been like revisionist history, stuff like that. I don't think we should go back and retrospectively look at our lives and say, wow, we really should have behaved differently. Like things were just a little different back then. And we had the group of special needs kids that would like, come together and they'd kind of walk in the groups together or whatever as we go into like the like pep rallies and the lunches and stuff like that. And they were awesome, man. We had this Down syndrome kid named Bobby. We had this other guy named Steve. I don't know what his illness was, but like these kids were just super friendly and like they were always just a pleasure. But like we would, like I said, in hindsight, do things that probably weren't the most politically correct, but like, because wrestling was so hot back then, right? Like Attitude Era wrestling. So like you had like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like flipping people off and cracking beer cans all over the place. And you had the D-Generation X guys pointing at their crotch, telling people to suck it. And then you had like just, plain old Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania. Good old wholesome Hulkamania. Now, not all those things existed at the exact same time, but that kind of gives you a frame of reference. So we would go to our little pep rallies and stuff, right? And Bobby, the kid with Down syndrome, he would be like down there where like the base of the bleachers are, and he would kind of run around and like he would get really hyped and he would get really excited and he'd be waving at people and the teachers kind of let him have fun and do his thing, and like of course the kids would be like, "Oh, it's Bobby, blah blah blah." So then, but he was like this huge Hulk Hogan fan, And so he would do for the wrestling guys, you guys know the Hulk up, he would like be flexing his arms, and he would kind of do this little bodybuilder pose where he, curls up one bicep and throws the one arm, kind of extends it out, like he's pointing somewhere. And he would just be, Hulkamania, I'm Hulkamania, all this stuff. And I stood up one day and I was like, hey, Bobby, Hulkamania sucks.
Oh my.
And he started freaking out and hulking up at me. He was like, yelling at me and pointing, and he's like, and he was like flexing at me and stuff, right? So then I would flex back, and we would have this whole back and forth, and I wasn't doing it to be ugly, but it was like he would react to it. He would like hulk up at you, and he'd do his whole little bit, and I'd be like, Hulkamania is cool, and he'd be totally chill. And then a little bit later, I'm like, hey, Bobby, Hulkamania sucks. And he'd be like, oh, no, Hulkamania doesn't suck, you suck. And then he'd do his whole nine, dude. And it was, a thing that we did. And there's the other guy, Steve, right? So Steve, he would walk around. No, excuse me, not Steve, Tony. Tony was the other one. Steve was the third guy that but anyway, so Tony, he would walk around and he would be like, hey, Tony. And I'd do the crotch chop, and he'd be like, suck it. And he would like do the crotch chop, and he would yell it through the hallways. And of course, the teachers are like, Tony, you can't do that. You can't do that. So we'd be walking through the hallways, right? So let's say you can imagine like the bell rings, classes are going by, whatever. Their crew's coming down the left of the hallway, going one direction. We're going up the hallway. And then so like you yell out, Hulkamania sucks. You got Bobby ripping and roaring and flexing at you. And then you like look over to Tony, you're like, Tony, and you do the crotch chop. And he'd scream in the hallway, suck it. And we used to get in so much trouble. Not because we're being mean to them, but because they would, they were watching wrestling. We were all watching wrestling. We're doing our thing. But the teachers were like, you got to quit doing that. He yells, suck it. The rest of he'll start screaming, suck it in the hallway. So, we definitely had a blast. And then the next thing, and this one's kind of out of high school into the college years. This is a couple years after high school, rather.
Hey, college stories are for next week.
Yeah. I don't have too many of those, but so whenever we would travel in our band, right? When we first started off, we started off pretty hot and heavy, like doing a lot of traveling. We had we got this chick to be our bass player, and her dad had a tour bus, and I'm pretty sure I've told stories about that on the show before. And so he would take us around, and so we always looked like we were way bigger of a band than we really were. And we didn't, because we were a bunch of Christian dudes, and none of us drank, and none of us were doing drugs and doing any of the other stuff that like normal bands do. Like we had to find like clean ways to entertain ourselves. So lighting our farts on fire was basically the main thing. Like we would travel, and we'd get in a hotel, and we would light our farts on fire. And I don't know if you guys have ever done that before, but it's like a legit thing, and it is pretty freaking awesome.
I feel like you have to do drugs to want to light your farts on fire. So something's not adding up here. No. Basically, it's like if you don't do drugs, you will resort to lighting your farts on fire. So, man, you church kids are real weird.
Dude, it was so
these are the chosen people of God, and they're lighting their farts on fire.
Hey, it gets worse, right? So we're in this one hotel room, right? And me and the guys we're all horse playing, doing our thing or whatever. And two of the members start like giving each other these like god awful massive wedgies, right?
The hell are you? What the?
And so they're like, if you can imagine two dudes locked up, like hugging each other, kind of, but like both of them reached around the other guy with that person's boxers pulled all the way up to their neck, right?
Oh my God.
Yes, dude. And we're laughing. Oh my God, we're laughing.
I'm waiting for the punchline where now the two of them are married.
No, that doesn't happen. But see, this is coming off the heels of us having a run of lighting our farts on fire. One of the guys have you ever met these people that are like, they're so hairy, it looks like they got like a sweater on?
Yes.
Imagine your butt looking like that, right? So this guy, he pulls his pants down, and throws his legs up in the air and lights his farts on fire, but it like sets all of his butt hair on fire. Right, so it looks like you're burning leaves and stuff, you know. Like it just like as soon as the explosion of gas hits the flame, it like sets ablaze everything on his butt. So we're laughing, like we're already like laughing. The room smells like burnt butthole. Like it's just ridiculous. So like from there, these two guys start like wrestling and they're giving each other these god awful wedgies. And like, I don't really know how we got from point A to point B, but there's a certain point in time where one of the guys screams out that he could taste blood. Right.
Oh like, no.
And I'm sure he really couldn't, but that was kind of like the last straw. So I'm laughing. He screams out he can taste blood. And then the next thing I'm doing is I start vomiting.
Ew.
Like I couldn't catch my breath. The room smelled like butthole and burnt hair, and I just like run to the sink that just like and then like of course I start throwing up. So then everyone else is gagging and freaking out. It's like and then we all calm down and play some video games and spend the rest of our night reminiscing, you know, on how funny it was, what everything was going on until I started vomiting. So. And don't do drugs. Yeah.
We had this one guy in high school who used to like we used to have like this one crew of friends we would hang out with. And this guy was like very like explorative of his sexual I don't know I guess like he was open with his sexuality, right?
Is this the guy you locked in the cage and gave him a sandwich?
No. No.
Wow.
No, this is my one friend who I'm still friends with today, so I can't divulge his identity on but he likes to stick things in his butthole and he finds pleasure from it. So like he got really drunk at one of the parties and was just walking around like with a banana in his butt. Like full naked, and he fully naked with a banana in his ass. And so the story gets better. So my one friend's dad comes, like he wakes up and comes downstairs, and he goes. He's like, oh man, I really wish we had. He's like, oh man, I'm really hungry. I need a banana. So my friend takes the banana out of his ass and goes, here, you can have mine.
No,
like right in front of his dad, and I was like, no fucking way that just happened. And my one friend was like, oh bro, that's a chocolate banana, that's bonus. And I was like,
that's so nasty.
I was like, we need to drink less.
See, we're over here doing good wholesome stuff. You guys are drinking and sticking things in your butt.
And then tell you what, the moral to the story, listener, is you really got to watch out for the straight people. They are fucked up.
I remember a story earlier than high school when I was in middle school, and it was the first time I ever beat Pokemon, like ever. So I was sleeping over at my friend's house for the first time ever, and I was playing Pokemon. I stayed up all night to beat it. And like he has like really strict parents. His parents weren't like my parents. My parents were like, come home when the street lights are on, like kind of parent. His mom was like, no, you come home after school and you sit inside, you do your homework, and you can go out after you're done. And back in the 90s, you got so much homework every day that you couldn't go outside. Like it wasn't a thing. Like these kids today don't know how lucky they have it that like all this.
My kids don't even have homework most of the time.
My daughter never gets homework. Like she's in kindergarten, they never get homework. I was like, I had homework in kindergarten.
Day one.
Been doing homework since day one-ish.
That's right.
But like, okay, so what was I saying again? I'm sorry.
You were talking about
still wrapped up.
Your friend had strict parents, and y'all were
going to spend the night. So he had strict parents, and I stayed over. I beat Pokemon, so I didn't beat the whole thing. I went to bed, right? Like, I stayed up all night and went to bed like 20 minutes before his parents woke up so we wouldn't get caught. Because, like, we weren't allowed to stay up the whole night. We did that shit at my house, but we couldn't do it at other people's houses. So, like, everybody wanted to always sleep over my house. So, I remember the one time that I woke up in the morning and we're eating breakfast. Nice. Woke up. I'm trying to finish Pokemon at the breakfast table with his mom yelling at me to put it away. And I'm like, you don't understand, ma'am. I'm at the Elite Four, and it's about to go down. And I can't save, and my battery's running low. I need to beat this. I'm sorry, ma'am. I know this goes against all your house rules, but this is going down right now. So then she was like, all right, you need to take it away from the table. So I was like, I literally just locked myself in the kid's bathroom for like an hour to beat the Elite Four. And then I come back out, and she's like, man, that must have been like the greatest poop of your life. Like, what? It's like, no, I was playing Pokemon.
I was just thinking, like, if you had a bad connection as the listener and you only caught every few words, and it's like, put it away. No, I have to beat it, and then I left the table and beat it. My friend and my
locked
friend's
myself
mom
in the bathroom with my friend's, with my friend's mom.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that story gets even better. So after we're done, and this isn't even related to video games at this point. After we're done, my friend's mom, I had to.
After you were done with your friend's mom.
My friend's mom had to take me home, and I lost my car keys in her truck. So I had to go to the dentist appointment with my friend's mom and just sit there for 3 hours while she got a root canal. Horrible, dude. And my Game Boy batteries were dead.
Yeah. I was about to say, more story is bring the extra batteries.
I was like, fuck, man. These kids don't know what it's like to have like game systems that plug into walls and shit.
And just charge up.
I had to carry around like 100 batteries at all times to make sure my Game Boy was charged at all times. Or if you had the Sega Nomad, man, that thing took like 9 batteries and like the power of the sun to like work. Like literally. Oh, that's all. Oh, one last story. Okay. So my friend thought it would be a smart idea because he didn't want to pay for batteries for his Nomad. So he would take his Nomad and charge the batteries by putting them over the light bulb fixture in his house. Like, you know those like open lamps where like...
Does that work?
It did. So, but it gets better there. We almost blew his house up. It's fucking hilarious. So like we almost started a massive fire. So the Nomad has this like battery pack clip thing, right? That you can buy. And my friend had it. So you put like 9 batteries in the battery clip, and then it clips onto the back of the Nomad. It makes the shit like super heavy, but it's like effective, right? So he thought it would be a good idea to take his, you know, those lamps that have like the 5 different like lamps, and you can like turn them and twist them any way you want, but they're like all open bulbs. So he laid the Nomad pack on top of one of the bulbs, and we're playing like N64, and we're waiting for the thing to charge. And I'm like, dude, I don't think that's charging. I smell something burning. He's like, no, just keep playing. Let's keep playing. All right, I'm okay, bro. So we come back and look at the battery pack. It's like fused to the light bulb, and it's starting to spark. And I'm like, we got to unplug the lamp. And my friend's like, I'm not touching that. You touch it. I'm like, I'm not touching it. You touch it. And I'm like, all right, somebody's got to touch it. And I feel like this story just got really perverted because I just said, I'm going to touch it. You're going to touch it. Who's going to touch it? I'm going to touch it.
Yeah.
So I went to unplug it, and the whole thing like sparked up, like it was going to like light up on fire. And I was like, So my friend took his giant blanket off his bed and threw it on top of the lamp and jumped on it and like elbow dropped it. He's like, problem solved. I was like, what?
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
I was like, no. I was like, we're not doing that again. Oh, man. Good stories, though. Good stories.
So, you know, back in the day when Jackass first came out?
You guys try to end it?
Oh, my gosh, yes. Yeah, me and my buddies, we thought we were going to be cool like that, right?
Oh, you should do that shit. That shit takes like years off your life.
Well, so I'm sure that like some of my reoccurring pains aren't just from being heavy these days. It's from taking dives and spills and doing random things. And there also tangentially to Jackass coming out and being like a thing that everyone was doing. One of my buddies had a video camera, and I was really, and am still, big into like the nu metal bands. And there was this rap rock nu metal band called Primer 55, and they had this song, their title track called Loose. And then like it was like this big like guitar riff, and like I get loose, and then the song, all the instruments come in together, you know, and drops together. They got turntables in the background and everything. It's freaking awesome. And so we went and saw the band, right? We went and saw these guys. And then right about the time where, the band's building up. And then the vocalist screams, "I get loose." He dives off stage, right? By that time, I'm running towards him. I'm going to catch him in midair.
God, it's not ending well.
This dude Superman punches me right in the freaking face, dude. Like, he came down to pit with us, But I was just like, in the moment, I'm like, oh my God, this is my favorite thing in the whole world. I get loose, boom, and just like got punched right in the face. Like, oh my God, that was awesome. So,
you definitely got loose.
I did, right? Got a couple teeth loose. So I walk away from this concert like, this is the greatest band ever. This is the greatest song ever. Like, I got punched in the face by the vocalist. Like, this is my theme now. I'm identifying it with this. So we're doing our little wannabe jackass stunts, and my buddy's got like a big porch or whatever, right? And it's like it was like. In my memory, it had like it was like brick and stone, but it was several steps down. And instead of having like sides and like banisters and stuff on there, it was just open. And he had this big shop out in the back, and that's where all our musical instruments and stuff were. This is one of my first little jam bands. And we were out there doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I was kind of like getting known as the guy that would take like a fall, like I would jump off of stuff, I would jump through things. We would do the backyard wrestling stuff and things like that. And so there's like, I don't know what happened. They're like we're filming stuff, and like when I say filming stuff, we got like these big camcorders, not the big ones that go on your shoulder, but like when they were finally getting like handheld-ish, and they had these little tapes in them or whatever. So like, they're like, "Oh, do something cool, whatever." So I'm like, look at the camera. I'm like, "I get loose," and I run and I dive off of the patio or the deck thing, but with no real intention, right? Just straight up belly flop on the ground, like I'm jumping into like a pool or something. But the sad reality is it knocks all the wind out of me, right? So like I hit the ground. And I'm just like, it's like this giant thud, and everything's white. I can't breathe. I'm just like, like for nothing, for absolutely nothing. I was just like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done. That was it. I just took the most hype I've ever been, and then the most dead I've ever felt, and I'm like, all in a 24-hour span. I'm out. I'm done.
I like how your battle cry was "I get loose."
Yeah. Yeah, then I'm done. That was it. I had one good stunt in me, and then God, dog. I bet you those tapes exist. I bet you somewhere someone's mom or grandma has the big giant black bag filled with all the tapes that we were filling up, and we were filming our little music videos, our live performances of our little jam bands, and then all of our stunts that went terribly, terribly wrong. I tried to, I don't know what I was doing. We had like a tire swing, and I think we were trying to run and like 2-foot jump kick through the tire swing.
That sounds terrible.
But we're all too big. Like I don't think anyone, and this is again revisionist history, but I don't think any of us ever stopped and thought about the logistics of it. Like, we can't do this. It's not possible. But we would have the tire swing. We would all just on tape, just run and try to 2-foot drop kick dive through it. But then if you even manage to get any of your feet in the tire swing, which rarely ever happened, all you do is kind of hang yourself from your feet until you eventually scorpion or lawn chair out the back of it. And I did that a few times, and that was pretty stupid. So definitely don't do drugs. And even in my case, I didn't do drugs. So apparently youth group kids are weird too. So, all right. Matt G writes in and says, when will the backlogs are for growing, not for beating shirt be available?
After the poop sock.
After the poop sock, yeah. I think that we're going to make that happen. I really want to. I'm meeting with Josh Adams tomorrow. We're going to talk merch. We're going to talk comics. We're going to talk some other special things. I've got to get some art done for Ninja Loot as well, because we're getting ready to drop another video. So I'm meeting with Josh Adams tomorrow. So I will be pitching him and seeing the update on the merchandise and all that stuff. And then I will give some updates as soon as possible. Also, Matt writes in, he says, can we get a sound clip of Darrell saying, I am a terrible person from last week? I feel like that can be used for multiple situations. Matt, I'm pretty sure that I've told several stories today that would also qualify as being a terrible person.
I don't know. I think Joe takes the cake at this point.
Yeah, his banana story.
Joe
conveniently said that was somebody else, but it was really him.
No, it was not me.
Joe, did you? Is your name really Stifler?
No.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if I'm banging my friend's mom, maybe, but I'm not.
Are you sure about that? I heard you went in the bathroom for an hour,
and then
when you were finished, you came out.
Then you had to canal her roots.
I tell you what, whatever happened, no one's accepting a banana from Joe again just now.
Chocolate banana.
Yeah, true that. It's like, oh man, this one went so deep, it's a strawberry banana.
Oh man.
Oh yes. All right. Dump Liquor writes in and he asks, is it ever okay to fart at the urinal?
Darrell, you should take this one. You're all about farting.
You know, it would seem that way just from my handful of stories, but I swear I don't actually fart that much.
I reckon a better question is, at what age is it too risky to fart at the urinal anymore?
30 on the dot.
So I say so. So CJ, you're taking this one then, right?
Well, I reckon it depends. Like, I don't know. I reckon like 40s, perhaps.
Yeah,
30, I think you're okay.
I feel like you'll get a good chuckle at the urinal, though. Like, all the guys there will be like,
That's not the way it works. People look appalled when you fart at the urinal.
Or you get that one person, like that dude came in the bathroom at the Home Depot, apparently, and said that he was like, I just want to warn everybody, I'm about to blow this place up. And they took it as a bomb threat. They evacuated the store. He was really just saying it because he was about to destroy the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. Hey. So I got another fart story. I was just thinking about it. So me and my boys, we were at some department store the other day. I can't remember exactly what store it was. It might have even been Costco. No, it could have been Costco. Costco's bad. I don't remember. We're at a store the other day, and we go up to the urinals, and I'm like, man, it smells like crap in here. It smells like straight trash. I like announce it. I didn't. Okay, so when I go into the bathrooms, I don't know about you guys, but I always case the place out, right? Like, I'm looking for feet under the stalls. I'm not going over there and bending over looking for them, but like, and as soon as you walk in the room, I'm looking across the room like, okay, how many people we got in here? Who's the odd guy standing around like waiting? Like, is he trying to... No,
I tell you what, I reckon Darrell's questioning. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he lives the second half of his life the other way. I mean, he's casing the joint out for some action. That's what he's doing.
I'm casing the joint out. Hey, I'm trying to make sure nobody's trying to pitch my booty while I'm in the urinal. You know what I'm saying? All right. I can't have no hands reaching up under the stall when I'm in there trying to do my business.
Jeez, this department store's got some water.
You're trying to say that you're worried it's going to be like that scene from the first Scary Movie, from literally the first Scary Movie where he was in the bathroom.
Through the door.
Yeah, you never know. So I don't know. I just I do that same thing when I go into restaurants and stuff too. I always case the place out, but for whatever reason, bathrooms are like, I'm like super on high alert. Okay,
guys, always on the prowl.
And I look around. I didn't see anybody in there. It didn't look like it was anybody that was in there. So like I announced, from my son, my oldest, I'm like, God, man, it smells awful here. I said it smells like a fresh dookie, and then I said it smells like trash, whatever. A little bit later, you hear somebody go, like,
that's my brand.
It's about that time, like my son looks at me, he's giggling. He's like, Dad, there's somebody in here. I was like, oh, really? And I just happened to have like the biggest ripper of a fart like queued up. And I was like, what? So my son, he starts laughing. He's just like, Dad, that guy, he's like, that guy just like grunted at you and you farted back at him. So then we like hurried up, we washed our hands and got out of there real fast because he started to flush the toilet. And I didn't want to have that awkward like eye contact moment where you're like,
Where you're both washing your hands at the same time.
You just did that, but I just did this other thing, and like it's bad.
Or he'd be like, "Bro, you said I smell like shit."
Could you imagine getting confronted? Excuse me.
Yeah, fucking fight somebody in a bathroom.
This guy, I was in there taking a dump. This guy was making fun of me, so I punched him in the face.
I had to fucking defend my honor in the bathroom.
I'm over here playing Pokemon Go, trying to take over this gym, and somebody's over here making fun of my brand. So
I take him out.
Oh God, dog it. That's so funny. Jeez, I don't know how we keep getting there. This show, what a dumper. Oh yeah, speaking of dump liquor. Okay, yeah. Is it okay to fart at the urinal? What's our consensus on this, guys? Yes or no?
I mean, it's a bathroom. I feel like it's fair game.
Depends on the situation.
All right, here's the situation.
Because no offense, but if I'm like right next to some like 6-year-old kid that's using the urinal, I'm gonna hold my fart in. That kid.
I'm ripping that shit out. But like, listen, bro, this is a man's world. If you're old enough to stand at the stall, you're old enough to come in contact with all the rights and privileges of standing at the stall.
That's right. You should use the family bathroom, nerd.
Fucking go in the kiddie stall next time. Sit down like a bitch.
You imagine? Little kid looks at him and she's like, "What the F, bro?" And he's like, "Step off. Step off."
It's like, "Bro, I'll fight you, bro.
I'm ripping A over here. Step off." Oh my gosh. This is the most mature podcast on the internet. That is definitely the truth.
Yeah, I blame Kalai. She's really just
God, fuck that developer who didn't want to come on our show.
That's right. Hey CJ, so Kalai's out there talking all these.
Oh my God, I'm literally crying right now. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying.
Yeah, see what that douchebag's missing out on? Farting in the urinal. But yeah, some developers said that our show was too small for them to come on and talk to us.
And then when they asked the question, what developer was it? I was like, I've never even heard of them. But you see, and that's the funny part is like Gearbox didn't say, like, she actually talked to somebody at Gearbox and they didn't say anything about coming on, but they weren't like rude about it, like, "Oh, we're too big for your podcast."
Yeah.
But some no-name studio that we've never heard, that she's never heard of at that, is just like, "Nah, sorry, bro."
Nah, what it is they listen to the show and they know exactly what goes on here. And they're like, "No, I want no part of this trash." Don't Liquor also writes in, wants to know if anybody's watched the Halo TV series yet.
Yes.
How is it?
It's fairly good. Normal complaints from people are they didn't use Master Chief's voice, which, I mean, why would they? It's a live action series. I don't know why you'd voice over an actual human being. That makes no sense to me. And then the other complaint is, and I don't agree with this because they don't do it a lot in the books, is in the first episode, he just takes his helmet off.
Right.
Which is like a no-no, but like, okay, like it doesn't break the story itself. The story itself is still good so far because it's not a story that's like in the books at all. It's like this weird in-between place that we didn't like have any information on.
I mean, I heard this story is about as unfinished as the game is, so.
Oh.
Well, they also haven't finished releasing all the episodes yet, so. that would make sense.
That's on brand for them.
Yeah. It'll come out when the co-op comes out.
They need to sit in the kiddie stall like a bitch.
Let's not forget it. In Phil We Trust, we got a free month of Paramount Plus to watch it.
That is true.
Which I watch Yellow Jackets, which is actually quite good, but I haven't watched the Halo thing.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
Go watch the new Scream movie.
Is that on there?
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Perfect.
And so is the new Jackass.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, you can get loose, guys.
Out?
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus.
Oh shit! Now I'm gonna go subscribe to my free trial so I can watch it.
Yeah.
Or I could just do what Netflix is trying to do and password share with you, so you don't get outlawed and prices raised for no reason.
Oh God, dog it!
They're trying to lock down on password changes now, and they're talking about bringing back ads because they lost like 200,000 subscribers the month they raised prices.
Maybe don't delay Stranger Things for like 2 years, and you wouldn't have so many people fucking leave.
That isn't even it. Like, maybe stop like being so fickle and greedy.
That too, or canceling all the good shows. Did you see what their response was to losing all the money too? They're like, "Oh, we're gonna fucking close all our animation studios and cancel all the animation stuff we had planned." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck everybody who cares about animation."
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh, it's terrible. Fuck Netflix anyway. They're greedy motherfuckers. There's too many streaming services anyway. It's just as bad as having cable now.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to pivot a little bit. I'm going to throw a little bit of a Hail Mary because
it's
since this show has gone off the rails, CJ brings out the best in us. All right, so we had a this week's official topic picked out. I also have a question that CJ actually wrote into the show, but we're going to put those on the shelf till next week, okay? We are going to end this week's show with a very deep philosophical gaming question written into us by Jared Geza himself. And he asks very simply and very plainly, are you Team Johnny or Team Amber, and why?
All right, I guess I'll go first. I am Team Johnny, and because Johnny was in Nightmare on Elm Street, so it's a pretty simple answer.
Okay. Okay.
Is it getting massive play over there on the media?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. They're broadcasting the trial, period.
It's like a fucking royal person getting married over here. I'm like, come on. Like, it's like the only other time we get coverage like this is when somebody from Europe or from someone British does something absolutely stupid or famous. I'm like, come on. Like, we don't even care about our own people as much as we care about these turd monkeys. Like,
that's hilarious.
Dude,
I was just thinking, like, we don't get much of it over here, but wouldn't it be awesome if the judge for that trial was Judge Judy? That'd be awesome.
That would be the only thing to make it, like, make more sense. Because the stuff coming out of this trial is absolutely ridiculous. So, literally, every time I turn on, like, an internet browser, at least throughout this week, right? It has been the Johnny Depp, the trial, the defamation trial, and then all these like
defamation, more like defecation trial.
I made that joke earlier.
You're trying to steal your jokes.
Yeah, I know, joke thief. But yeah, so I mean, just constantly stuff coming out, and literally, and like it's been everywhere. Now, as far as like
chocolate bananas for everyone.
Yes, well, hey, that's what Amber's trying to give him, a chocolate banana. But as far as like,
you can just call it the Amber Heard now.
Yeah, as far as like national like television time or like news, I don't know. I don't watch the news. I get all of my news from memes, like a good American. So, but yes, it has been. It has definitely been all over the place. I've seen it everywhere, and just some of the wild stuff that's come out of it. Like I got to be honest. All jokes aside,
white people.
Yes, yeah, yeah, definitely. I got to say, like, it's like my wife's favorite reality TV show unfolding in real life. Like, it is some of the most wild, crazy stuff ever. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, please! I'm sick and tired of hearing about it." But like, I was kind of non-interested, like, not really paying any attention to it until it came out that she pooped in his bed. And then you just kind of like look at this person, right?
Now,
like,
I would have been like, I would like, okay, if she's doing it like sexual foreplay and she's trying to clean herself out, I mean, maybe she didn't douche herself that morning and she had a poop, so she was getting ready, and maybe that's how she was doing it. We don't know. We don't know the real story, Darrell. We don't know.
Rich people are into some weird shit.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Now I want to own an ice cream shop now, and I want to make an ice cream sundae where it's like a bed of waffles, and then it's 2 chocolate scoops of ice cream, and we call it the Amber Heard.
Oh my gosh, that is disgusting.
But if you think about it, they probably have like slaves or whatever, like people that work for them that do everything for them. So like, just do that. They'd clean it up. It's not like it might have just been normal every day. Like maybe they don't even have a bathroom. Don't need it. They got the help that clean everything for them.
I'm just gonna poop in the bed. What's that? I'm just gonna poop in your bed.
If I had someone that did everything here, I might do that too. Like fuck it, you know.
I'm too lazy.
Yeah, you get like that, wouldn't you? It's like
just get a gaming chair. Get a gaming chair with a bucket hole in the middle of it, and just shit in it, and be like, nah.
Like there's at least 10 people.
Take care of this.
There's at least 10 people listening that have that now, and they're just like, what?
All right. So to bring it back to gaming, all right. since you got Johnny Depp, obviously, I would say most notably known for Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. Would you guys argue that that's his probably most notable role?
Yeah, I would say so.
For today's society, yes.
Okay. Now, granted, my knowledge of Johnny Depp goes way farther than that, but I'm a little older, so. All right. What about so Amber Heard? What would outside of Queen Mera from Aquaman? What would you say is her biggest role?
You just nailed it.
Yeah, she's played as a lot of like teenage high school angsty.
Probably this trial.
Yeah,
pooping in a bed.
All right, so I want to pitch to you guys this. Well, first off, I guess let's answer the question. Are you CJ? Are you Team Johnny or are you Team Amber Turd?
I'm going to be for the dogs. Yeah, because I didn't know they blamed the dogs for that. So I think
she blamed the dogs for that.
The dog. The funniest thing is, like a couple of years ago, when he came to Australia to film, maybe it was the last Pirates one or one of the last ones. He like as rich people do, just did whatever the fuck he wants in this country, and he smuggled in his 2 dogs in his private jet, and like that's. You're not supposed to do that in this country. We don't want American wieners everywhere. And and anyway, he got caught and they pulled him out. They actually deported his 2 dogs because he had to stay. And I suppose he was with this woman then because they've been together for a while, haven't they? And they actually deported his 2. They were like sausage dogs or something back to the States. It was we're a simple country.
It's like, well, I mean, it's like that fucking episode of The Simpsons when Bart goes over to Australia and like wrecks the ecosystem with the frog.
The funny thing is.
They look at that fucking wiener dogs popping up all over the place like the frogs, like the frogs on The Simpsons.
You could probably see this on YouTube somewhere, but they made part of the deal was so he avoided court, he paid some money or something, a fine. And but one of the politicians here really like went at him for it or whatever, and he had to do a public apology on TV, saying that. And if you can see the footage of this, you can see in his face he doesn't give a flying fuck at all, and he's like, "I'm really sorry, I bought my dogs." It's just so funny. He was, "I didn't know you didn't tolerate dogs from overseas." So
oh my gosh.
They have to keep the tarantula population under control. They can't have dogs just roaming around killing them all.
All right, Zach, are you Team Johnny or Team Amber?
I'm gonna go with Team Johnny, just because. So, all right, so my wife is kind of the same way as yours. It's like a reality TV show unfolding before her eyes. So, like, I've heard a couple of things and scrolling through TikTok, like people have been broadcasting it live. So it was really funny for her to publicly like get disproved in the middle of the trial. They were like, "Do you have the makeup that you used to wear when he would beat you?" And she was like, "Yes, this is the exact brand, blah, 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 blah," or whatever. It came out after they separated and stopped living together. Like the makeup released afterwards. So she just like, "Well, here's my lie."
Yeah.
It's just funny. Like the depth that, that famous people are willing to go, like, just tell the truth. No one's going to give a shit at this point. Everybody is just watching this for entertainment. Like,
you're famous. You're gonna get slapped with the wrist.
This is Tiger King.
Well, yeah, exactly.
This is the new Tiger King.
Except for he's still in jail.
True. All right, so Joe, what does that put you?
For free Johnny, man, free Johnny.
All right, so I'm gonna go with a wild one. I'm gonna pull for Team Amber over here, just to be the different one. I was all Team Johnny until he said that he was going to do some nasty things to her decomposing corpse in a Honda Civic. And I got to be honest, man.
It's like fucking Mallrats. It's like a fucker in the back of a dumpster.
Yeah,
like what is this?
I mean, I was pretty appalled when he said they had a Honda Civic. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the car they bought the bed cleaner.
So here's my pitch. All right, Grand Theft Auto Online. Right.
Oh dear Lord.
Pirates of the Caribbean DLC. All right, you got Johnny Depp, you got Queen Mera, and you have to enact these scenes in Grand Theft Auto as almost like heist missions. You have to poop in Johnny's bed for like $1 million shark card, and then you got to stuff her in a Honda Civic and do your missions.
Seriously though, like Amber Heard's got like a Brazzer deal just like lined up. She can just like shit in people's beds for a living.
Oh my god!
Is it? It's just a civil trial, is it? It's not criminal. Like
it's a defamation suit. Yeah, this whole thing is because essentially, I mean, the reality is they lost. Like they're all both blacklisted from movie studios now.
Oh, okay.
And he lost his Pirates of the Caribbean opportunity to do that last film because she was claiming that he beat her and all this stuff. All the stuff that happened because he was like supposedly abusing her. But in reality, it seems like, from what I understand, now, granted, I'm not really following this thing, but that he was being abused. She even cut his finger off.
Yep, cut the tip of his finger off. She got the tip of his finger off. She burned him with cigarettes. She did a lot of really, really fucked up shit.
She's fucking.
But weird. Like at this, like, so they both started their relationship off really fucked up, anyways, because Johnny Depp was on a lot of drugs, and he's even said it. He's like, I was on opiates and I was an alcoholic. He's like, but like, I think that's why everyone is more attuned to being like on his side, because he's being open and honest. He's not trying to hide anything. He's like, yeah, these are the things that I said. Yes, these are text messages I said. I'm not going to fucking lie to you about it. I haven't always been the greatest human being. And as humans ourselves, it's just like you look at it and you're like, okay, cool. Everybody makes mistakes. So at least he's willing to own up to it versus this person is sitting here just being like, I didn't do it. I'm innocent. I'm the perfect, pretty little angel.
Shitting in someone's bed is not a fucking mistake. Like it takes like
well, sometimes. Once you get to 40, anything's possible. You're not always in control.
Jesus God.
But these cases are like, I keep obviously we're not getting as much coverage there as you guys are, but I think of the it was Paul McCartney, I don't know, this was a few years ago, where it came out that his then wife was beating him with her prosthetic leg. And I mean, it's just wonderful. That went to court as well. Wonderful images that come up in your head, aren't they?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's the attraction.
So here's what I'm saying, guys. Pirates of the Caribbean was, because of COVID and all that stuff. Like it was the filming was put off, right? Aquaman 2, the film, because of COVID, the film was put off. These guys, this isn't really happening, right? This is the new thing. This is their new film. This is their new deal. This is all a big giant play, and they're just like, here's your scripts. All right, she beat you. You pooped in his bed. Improvise the rest. Let's go.
Yeah, because they'd have ads in between this, wouldn't they? So there would be big money involved.
There's commercials.
Please stand by for the commercial on MSNBC.
Laxative companies are doing great business.
Yeah. This segment's brought to you by Snickers.
Adult nappies, because you never know when
feeling like Amber Heard. Have a Snickers. Become Queen Mera.
Oh my god, that's what it is. It's like someone's stressed out. They're squatting in a bed, dropping deuce, and then Johnny Depp's like, "Here, have a Snickers." And then she eats the Snickers, and she turns into Queen Mera. All cool, calm, and collective. I don't know if this was a good idea tonight, guys, but I gotta be honest, I had a blast.
Yeah,
I tell you what, if that dev that refused to come on turns out and announces his next game involves a banana, Snickers, or any of this business, you'll know that you've been ripped off.
Well, don't you worry. We'll find out who that is and blacklist them for sure. I won't buy any of their games. And I'll probably buy them. I just won't play them. That'll fix them.
I feel like that's on brand for you.
I know. That's the whole point.
Joke's on us. It was actually Radalaka.
No,
I just doesn't want to say anything.
No. Hey, every year when she goes, I ask her to talk to them and try to get them on. Every year.
Did she talk to them this year?
I don't know.
She hadn't said anything this year, but to be fair, I haven't exactly asked a bunch of questions because she keeps saying, "Hey, talk to this person. Hey, this person's emailing. Hey, talk to this person." So, but it's been good. CJ, man, it was great having you on tonight. I hope this wasn't a waste of your time. Zach,
that was
Joe,
a lot of fun.
Man, I enjoyed the laughs. Tonight was great. Yeah, for all the listeners who made it this far, I am sorry. Hope you enjoyed the gaming talk at the beginning of the show. And don't you worry, we got plenty more of this nonsense where that came from. You guys got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yes, everybody go into the Trophy Horse podcast group and just make a post that says "He who should not be named."
Yeah, okay, that's a good
idea.
My memes, God. yes, memes.
Yes, make memes. Jared, make a meme, please.
Yes, we'll put Tricky's face on Snape.
No, on Voldemort's body.
Voldemort.
It was a joke because I got his name wrong earlier.
Well, your joke was.
You know shit about Harry Potter.
You know, I got this. We're putting Darrell's face on Snape's body.
Dork.
My God, Darrell. This is why you don't get to go to Universal, bro. This is why you had to stay home. They're like, this fucking nerd's gonna embarrass us. You know
what? You know what? For that, I'm gonna put a nose on Voldemort. Just really mess it all up.
Just give him Tricky's head. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. He who must not be named's head.
CJ, you got anything else you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. I think we left it all on the table tonight.
And Amber Heard left it all on the bed.
Oh,
I had to get in one more before we got out of here.
Yeah, so did she, pinching them off as we go. All right. Thank you, guys. This has been the Loot Bros Podcast. We have a ton of other podcasts and shows that we offer you. If you enjoy this, if you like gaming talk, if you like any of the stuff that we bring up from time to time, including farting at the urinal, please check out our Patreon. It all goes there first, and then gets dispersed into the various feeds. Loot Bros Podcast is available to everybody. Please like, share, subscribe. Go to Spotify and leave us some stars. Go to iTunes and leave us reviews. Go to Google Play and whatever that you do there. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, thank you guys so much for coming on here and talking with me tonight. Thank you guys for listening. We are out of here.